Welcome everybody to another edition of the C3 Friday Free for All, the show for Panther fans by Panther fans. If you would like to be a part of today's discussion, you may join at any time via Streamyard. I will post the link here in the chat in just a moment. It's also in the description of the YouTube video. We appreciate y'all spending your Friday with us every single Friday afternoon, man. To those who are getting off of work, cheers. Here's to you. Crack yourself a cold one and enjoy yourself a Friday free for all, baby. We appreciate you. First up, let me introduce my panel of Panther pundits. Ooh, you like my alliteration, boys? What's up? What's up? What's up? Next up, first up, you know him and love him. It's our man. He might tell you to shut the hell up. It's Panther Pickle. Pickle, what's up, dude?
What's up, man? Been a rough week this week. Been a rough 2 weeks, but life goes on. Panther-wise, everything's moving forward like it should. And contrary to popular belief, we may not win but 3 games next year. Or we may win 16. We don't know. But we here, and we'll be here then. And we're going to keep pounding. We expect you to keep pounding. Because if you can't keep pounding, keep walking.
Then what's the point? If you can't keep pounding, then what's the point, baby? You already know him and love him, man. He's the brand ambassador. Literally waving that C3 flag loud for the world to hear. My man, the brand ambassador, D's Ill Skills. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Cody. Like, I got sick and tired of you telling all these fans that I'm waving the C3 flag and I didn't have one, so I made one today just for the show. Yeah. And now I can wave that C3 banner with pride, my friend. Keep pounding C3. Ready to get this show started. I've got some things on my mind. I've got some things I thought about. And since you started off with a nice little alliteration there, let me do mine. I got on my blue and black, and we're ready to attack the Friday free-for-all tonight. Let's go, Cody. Let me tell you about something. 2 weeks from today, pick number 33 is on the clock, almost to the minute, sir. And I want all these Panthers fans, all these C3 fans to tune in when we do the live show on Friday and on Thursday as well. Thursday's important, and it sets up our draft and that pick for 33. So make sure you tune in to the longest running Panthers podcast, the C3 Panthers Podcast. Let's go, Cody.
Let's go, man. Now you know why we call him the brand ambassador. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all. The draft is fast approaching. More news has continued to break along the lines of what players are visiting with the Carolina Panthers. Man, the draft is starting to heat up, man. We hope y'all will join us throughout the first and second night of the draft here on C3 Panthers Podcast. It'll be a fun time. Next up, my man back in the building, my man Ant. Ant, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
What's going on, boys? I'm doing pretty solid. Yeah, just thought I'd be here today for a bit. Excited about the draft. We'll see, man. I like who they're bringing in. I said this today. It doesn't look like we'll be drafting Walmart employees going forward, man. So I'm happy Dan's bringing in some real names that the people around the league respect. So that's really what I care about. We'll get into it. I mean, we spent a lot of money in free agency, but you got to win through the draft, man. So I'm 2 weeks until I think I can get a better gauge on how I feel going forward, man.
A lot of time left between now and then, especially between now and the start of the season. There'll be a lot to happen left, man. So we'll do it together, man, here at C3. And we appreciate you, Ant. Next up, holding it down for the left coast, my man Alex, A14 Panthers. What's up, dude?
Hey, happy Friday, Cody. Happy Friday, everyone. Just wanted to, Ant said it perfect, man. I mean, 2 weeks away from the draft. It's going to come down to, drafting the right pieces for the future for Bryce and for this Carolina Panthers organization. I mean, I think I just heard today that we and I'm not sure if it's true, but we got 3 guys still on the roster from 2022 that we drafted. So we got to hit on these draft picks this year and years to come, because
Yes, we do.
agency can only do you so much.
It's a very important draft for Dan Morgan and everyone in that front office, man. This is the point where you're going to have to redevelop that entire team, inject it with some young talent. And it came out today that no one has spent more offseason dollars than the Carolina Panthers. So are we overspending? Are we oversigning mediocre players? We'll talk about that today, man. But last but not least, my man Evan, Sports Talk, back on the free for all. Evan, what's up, man?
What's up, everybody? 2 weeks away from the draft. It's getting to that countdown. It's getting very exciting. My nerves and anxiety is going to go up as we get closer to the draft until we're past it. And I'm excited. Right now, I mean, today we brought in JPJ, Jackson Powers Johnson. For those who don't know, I call him JPJ all the time. But that's a good sign. That is a really good sign. So I'm excited to talk some Panthers ball tonight and debate with people.
That is a wonderful point. Tonight is a wonderful night for debates. And there is a lot to debate. We appreciate everybody for joining us, man. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell, and hit that link that I have pinned to the top of the Streamyard if you would like to join and be a part of the conversation. My man Evan just mentioned that the Panthers have scheduled a top 30 visit with Oregon center Jackson Powers Johnson. And that leads me to a question that's sort of been on the forefront of everyone's mind. What is the biggest hole left on the Panthers roster right now? Some people say it's a center. Some people say wide receiver. Some people say that that's a cornerback for the defense. Boys, what say you? Jump on it.
Hey, I'm going to go first here. I've been a guy who's wanted wide receiver with one of our first 2 picks, but I do think center is our biggest need at this current moment, and I think that's why at 33, most likely we should go center, whether it's JPJ if he falls there, Zach Frazier, or even if we don't go center with those first 2 picks and maybe wait to see if Cedric Van Pran is there in the 3rd round. And I would love JPJ. I mean, he is the best center in this class, and if he fell there, it would be a dream. I mean, it would be amazing. That would be amazing for us. I mean, we would basically have revamped our offensive line all in one offseason as long as Icky is the left tackle of the future.
Yeah, great point. Most people have said center for a while now on our offensive line. Go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just think that there's a lot of ways to get wide receivers and good offensive linemen. This is where it's you want your defensive line to be built through the draft. And I know we spent a good amount of money on those other guys, but it's not like Dan's. I mean, I hope this could be a sign that he's always looking to keep this line afloat, just because of injuries, just because of Ike Ekwonu. So if this dude's there, I'm all for taking him, man. The question is, will he be there? I don't know, and it also leads into if these guys if we're 5 picks before someone, does Dan potentially pull a trigger on, moving up a little bit for that player? I don't know, man. So it'll be interesting, but I think center's the most.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to, for me, and I think Panther Pickle agrees on this. I want to go best player available. I still think that there's so many holes on this roster that it's really tough to decide on what actually, like, what position we really, really need. I'm more of like someone that's like, okay, let's look at the board. Best player available. I know we need corner. I know we need linebacker. I know we need center. I know we need, I'm actually okay with keeping the wide receivers how they are. I mean, if there is a good wide receiver there at 33, obviously you take it, but I'm okay going into the season with the wide receivers we do have, which with like Thielen, Johnson, Marshall, Mingo. I'm okay with those guys, honestly, as long as Bryce has time in the pocket. So I'd say, for me personally, I'd say center, but I mean, like, I'm most likely taking the best player available at 33.
Sure. Now, one of the questions that you rise when looking at the roster, are you okay with our center or with our cornerback room going into the season? I mean,
not
we're
really.
we're really, really thin at that position.
No.
You sort of have to go position by position and ask yourself, are you okay with that room as it is right now?
Well, I'll say this real quick. I think what Alex is getting at is, too, we're not just going to be able to fill every hole. Like, even if we don't like it, maybe we just have to suck it up with the cornerback room for another year. Like, I think that's just reality. Reality is we're not going to be able to fix everything.
Exactly.
So, again, it just comes down to, like, take the best player. I said this weeks ago. Like, these next 3 years of drafting, it's just got to be take the best player here, take the best player here,
Right.
take the best player here. Because we can't talk about need when we have multiple needs. That's just not.
You see that? I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. You can go ahead.
Okay, well, if you look at that right there, Cody Lack, you see Austin Corbett is the starting center, followed by Cade Mays, and y'all know I'm a Tennessee fan, but Cade Mays didn't exactly show superstardom or starting ability last year, and he played multiple positions just like he did the year before. Now, but all that being said, Austin Corbett, and I want y'all to understand this, when he was a rookie in 2018, as a rookie in college, he played left tackle. Let's understand that. In college, he played left tackle. When the Browns drafted him with a 33rd pick in the 2018 draft, they projected him as a guard, and they bounced him between both guard positions. It didn't exactly work out. During training camp and preseason, they even gave him a shot at right tackle and didn't work. So then they tried him at center. In a couple preseason games, he was a backup center. He didn't really look good at all. So they left him as a backup guard / center. And later on that year, he actually started at guard for a few games. The following offseason, the Browns traded him to the Rams for a 5th-round pick in the 2020 draft. So
he went on to win the Super Bowl with the Rams.
As a guard.
Right, as a guard. So we don't have anyone with the center experience like we had with Bozeman, who what his position was.
Yeah, the only guy on our entire roster that has any kind of experience playing center is Cade Mays.
And I got something to throw out here.
But Anthony, just to add to the discussion before I let you go, though, outside of J.C. Horn, right, at the cornerback position, we have DiCaprio Bootle, Dane Jackson, and Deshaun Jameson. Like, real talk, boys, now that cornerback room might be the worst position group on the Panthers right now. Like, if the Panthers don't sign Stephon Gilmore this offseason, in my mind, corner has to be the biggest hole on the team right now. Even with Corbett never having played center like that, at least you have someone that you know is a decent high level that you might be able to depend on in that scenario, whereas there is no one at the cornerback position, including J.C. Horn, who has yet to prove that he's able to stay healthy for an entire season. Deez, would you say that I'm wrong in any of those assessments?
No, I mean, we kind of look at what Evero was able to do with Boodle and Jameson last year, and I would say that he made them look serviceable. And they probably looked serviceable because we couldn't stop the run. And that's another area this week. I think it's ironic that JPJ wears yellow and green because that reminds me of the Green Bay Packers, and they're the cheeseheads. And it reminds me of Swiss cheese, and all the holes that we have on this Panthers roster is just like a big old block of Swiss cheese. And whatever hole you want to fill, there's still water going to leak through somewhere else in the dam. So it doesn't make any difference to me what direction they go because it's not going to be enough to move the needle. Wide receiver is a great argument for this example, right? If you want to say that we brought in Deontay Johnson, he's a fantastic wide receiver too in the NFL. Well, who the heck is your wide receiver one? Because Thielen's not going to be winning on the outside. He's going to be winning on the slot, in the slot position. We know that Mingo struggled badly on the outside last season. So we're looking for a true number one wide receiver, but you want to tell me that we're going to take a true number one wide receiver at 33 or 39 and he's going to go for 1,000 yards? Well, I'm a little bit skeptical about that. And I don't exactly believe in that. Now, do I believe in 800 yards? Maybe, if the guy really does have a great year. Does he get 600 yards? Probably. But does he get 1,000 and look like a true number one wide receiver? No. So to me, that would be our biggest hole, in my opinion. But we can't afford to even pay a T. Higgins or a Brandon Ayuk, in my opinion. At least to this point, we haven't done anything with Moton's contract, so I don't see how you resolve that. But as far as corner, I guess, sure, Cody, if we can stop the run next season, then we definitely do need a corner to stop the pass.
Yeah. Right.
So
Go ahead.
I agree, and we do still have Troy Hill, but I mean, yeah, it's whatever with him. But Deez is saying what I've been saying, like there's holes everywhere, and it's like even if we get a new block of cheese, like the other cheeses are still gonna have, Dyer the Wimpy Kid holes in them regardless. So it's not like we're just not gonna be able to fix everything, and there's just a lot of questions. But I wanted to bring this up real quick. Mike K was on a podcast recently, and he said, from his understanding, the Panthers were trying to go after one center and one guard, but the board didn't fall that way. It just didn't fall that way. So I think the original plan was
when were they trying to go after one center and one guard?
What? What'd you say?
When were they trying to go after one center and one guard?
In free agency. It just didn't fall. Yeah, so they went with two guards, and they were like, well, Corbett's going to be the placeholder. But I think you're right, too. I mean, listen, I love to draft a cornerback, but it's also like, I want them, if that's the case, I want them to take someone that they have real conviction on. I don't want them to just draft a corner and be like, yeah, well, it's a need because everything else is a need. And I know I sound super repetitive saying that, but like that truly needs to be the game plan. And wide receiver, we can get into it in a bit because I got some takes on that I've been standing by for weeks, but.
You're the one who mentioned it earlier, Anthony. What do you think are the chances that the Panthers could trade back up into the first round if there's someone that they do like enough? So, for example, if there is a receiver that they do like that they don't think will be available at 33, Buffalo needs a receiver. Kansas City needs a receiver. Do you think the Panthers could get a little bit aggressive and move back into that first round?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if there's like a head over heels player that they have a first round grade from, like for example, cornerback, like if Nate Wiggins is still floating around like pick 25, I don't think I'd be too opposed to trading 33 and a future third rounder, or even pick 65. I think that's definitely possible, just because I think that the way he's doing it, the way I see it is these guys he's bringing in top 30 visits for, these are all known guys that look like they're going to be potentially late first round picks. So I just feel like there's a really slim chance that they're going to be there for us. Like Evan said in the beginning, it would really be crazy if this center fell to 33, man. So I think there's a strong possibility, but you also need a trade partner to do it. And someone's got to be willing to make the deal.
True.
JPJ has been people are saying that he's falling not really out of favor with the other teams. They just don't view him as a first round prospect. But that being said, I am adamantly against trading up. I think we have too much other needs to trade up, and I'm in utter fear, and I mean that literally, utter fear that trading up will result in us losing the first round pick next year, because that's what's always happened to the Panthers. Every time you trade up, you lose a first round pick for the next year. I'm adamantly against that. I will always be against that. I will never be for it. That's a bad deal. If you trade up, it'll be the worst mistake that this team's done since they traded up for Bryce Young.
You know,
damn, shots fired. Go ahead, Evan.
Oh,
hey, real quick before you go, I'm sorry, my fault. James Allen
you're good.
Panther says we got more holes to fill than a Ron Jeremy Porno. Damn. All right, go ahead.
In a way, like, I agree with both sides in this when it comes to trading up into the first. I think the only way that we would actually do this, and I would be fine with doing it, is if it was like just before pick 33. Like, let's say there's a chance that there's a guy like Adonai Mitchell or JPJ who's at, like, we're at pick 31 in the first round, or pick 32 or pick 30. I think in that range, I'm fine trading up, because in that range, you don't have to give up that much, because you're literally like 2 or 3 picks away. So you probably only have to give up like a 7th, a 6th, maybe even at most a 5th. So
no, you're incorrect, my friend.
I'm not incorrect.
You're trading.
Yeah, you're
into
trading
the
into the
round.
first, but
the first round will cost you more, even if it's just a couple picks.
I disagree with that, especially even if it's only a couple picks. I mean, I watched the Jags trade back into the first round a couple years ago in 2022, and they traded up from pick 33 to like pick 27, and they only gave up like a 5th rounder. They only gave up like a 5th or a 4th rounder.
Did they trade any players?
No, they didn't trade any players. It was just pick 33. This was when they picked Trayvon Walker. They traded up for Devin Lloyd, and they only gave up pick 33 and I believe a 5th rounder. That's it. They didn't give up a 3rd, a 2nd, or anything. They only gave up a later round pick, a day 3 pick.
Yeah, and that's why it's like for example, I'll bet money that the Chiefs end up trading back. I think their GM's just all about getting picks. I think they did this last year. And it's like, I mean, if you're 2 or like 1 spot, like there's a guy on the board, you're not sure you're going to get him, like Evan was saying, I don't think it's going to cost an extra first round pick. And typically there's 2 things. One, if Dan Morgan trades next year's first round pick, then I'm not buying anything he's done, because then that proves he doesn't value the future, and he sure as hell is dumb enough to not believe that we're going to have a top pick next year.
With the amount of holes on this roster, it is incompetent to trade up for one player.
I totally agree, Pickle. It doesn't make any sense.
There is absolutely zero proof that when you trade up from 33 to 27, that you're going to get a guy so much more better that it's going to be worth the 33rd pick and another pick.
That's not really my point in this, but
other than the fact of saying I did something.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade up, because there's just way too many, like we said, we've all said there's too many holes to fill. We need to just have the draft.
We're gonna fill the holes in the later rounds.
Well, I mean,
we haven't drafted good in the later rounds.
You can't always have first and 2nd picks and say that's it and fuck the rest of them.
Well, let me ask you this. Hold up, Pickle.
If your GM can't draft,
well, hold up, Pickle. So look,
we don't know that he can draft.
But we've pretty much been deciding. Hold on, Pickle.
5 years.
We're deciding pretty much between corner, wide receiver, and center. Normally in our mock draft, which by the way we are going to do one later today, so stick around. We've been able to hit on 2 of those positions, And the other one, we're kind of left with the best of the rest. Is there any way possible you grab a center, grab a corner, and then maybe trade up before you get to that third round pick for a wide receiver, like, say, for example, Troy Franklin, who has a visit scheduled with the Panthers? A lot of Panther fans have been very high on him. Is it possible to hit on all three of those positions in the draft? And to answer that, let me go add some people to the show. My man QT0 back on the free for all. QT, what up, brother?
You hear me good? You hear me?
Yes, sir. Could
Hey
the
man, yeah.
Panthers
So
fill all
so
three
I'm
of
big.
those positions?
Oh yeah, we definitely can. There's the hugest line in the draft of wide receivers in a while, but the biggest hole is definitely corner, but the biggest need is center. Because it's doing more than one thing. Even though the individual may not start at center, but if we were to get an injury with Cade Mays, that could be a huge detriment to Bryce Young's development. Because then Cade Mays is going to be there.
Truth.
So
And you've already spent so much money upgrading the guard position to not upgrade the center position. It does seem kind of foolish.
Exactly. So there's two people I could see myself trading up for, and wide receiver is definitely a huge need. What's it called? But he got to be that guy, like I do. Everybody hates me for it, but I say Xavier Worthy, man. Just trading up a couple spots, which is definitely possible for. And I'm sorry, whoever said a fifth or seventh, it's not going to be. It's going to be most likely a fourth round pick.
If you trade up 2 spots for a wide receiver, they're not going to be asking for a first or second round pick.
No. They're asking for a fourth. I didn't say a first. I said a fourth.
No, I'm agreeing with you. Like earlier,
oh yeah,
people were saying that, but this leads me into this real quick. If we go center and I've been saying this, man, I don't care what someone said it earlier that we may not have the money to pay these guys, but we only got one big contract on this team. If they don't find the wide receiver that if they don't have a wide receiver on the board that they have a high grade on, man, I'm just like, I just send one of those picks for T. Higgins or Brandon Ayuk. I really would.
Oh, yeah, I would do that in a flash. I would do that in a flash and then leave your draft to center and corner. Hey, let me welcome in some people, man. I believe we have a fan from across the pond joining us. We have Britt Panther joining. Britt, what's up,
lads? How you doing?
Doing wonderful. How are you, man?
I'm not too bad, thank you very much. I just wanted it's a bit of a flying visit because it's 25 to 1 in the morning over here. I just basically wanted to. Man. Well, I've been watching for a while. Basically, I look forward to this every week. To be quite honest with you, I stay up every week, every Friday.
We appreciate you, man. Dude, we love it that we have fans in another country. Dude, it's the best thing in the world. We appreciate your
That's a committed fan right there. That's a committed fan. I appreciate
that.
Shit.
Well,
yeah. What you got for the show today, man?
Well, first of all, I wanted to just basically I was catching up on Tuesday's show, I think it was.
Sure.
And I first of all wanted to pass on my condolences to you, Cody.
Oh,
just
thank
with
you,
your
man.
auntie passing away. I hope you and your family are doing all right. Obviously,
thank you, man. Her funeral was today, man. We couldn't be there because they're in Louisiana, but no, I definitely appreciate the words, man. That's very kind.
No bother, mate. Yeah, I just basically wanted to pass on that. I feel we need to be doing everything we possibly can to try and make Bryce successful. I think if I'm entirely honest, I think we need to be discrediting the season that he's had previously, and I don't think you can really judge him at all until he's given the equipment to succeed. So I'd almost give him +1 season beyond whatever day it is that we give him the tools he needs to be successful. I think at this point we haven't given him enough to to really show what he can do. And I know people have doubted in the past that his arm isn't good enough to throw the distance, but he's from what I've seen of him, he's a wonderful improviser. But to be able to improvise, you can't be doing that every play. You need to have protection in front of that, and to get the most success out of him. that needs to be a surprise for an opposition. If every opposition you come up against is knowing that every play he's going to have to try and improvise because the line in front of him are just going to allow him to get pummeled play after play, then yeah, as far as I'm concerned, we can't really judge his performance at all from I just seen there somebody can recognize my accent. Nice one, down.
So what was your name again, man? If you don't mind me asking?
My name's Alex, man. Alex.
Well, one, we appreciate you, Alex, and two, let me piggyback off of that, and let me ask you this: if you're trying to minimize the amount that Bryce Young has to improvise going into next season, what would you prioritize in the draft? Would you rather get him another high-end wide receiver that will allow him to get the ball out of his hands faster, or would you rather put a center in front of him and continue to build the protection in front of Bryce?
Well, that's the ultimate question, isn't it? I think.
Sure.
I think, to be honest, I would be looking at getting some wide receivers that he can throw the ball to, who aren't going to drop it in ridiculous circumstances. I mean, from the little bits I see, I mean, I don't personally see a whole lot of us at the minute because obviously with us being a garbage team, the UK coverage seems to be focusing on other teams at the minute. And obviously with it being the off season, we don't get any sort of the coverage of the college stuff. So if I want to know anything about that, I have to go searching for it, and it makes it a bit more difficult. So to be honest, I use you guys to pretty much keep on top of what's going on. So I appreciate your coverage.
Yeah,
man. But yeah, for me, it has to be probably a wide receiver. I think you need to give him the offensive tools, and to be honest, I think all of our focus should be on an O-line at the minute. I think that's what excites people to join you as a team anyway. I think if you have an offensive lineup that is exciting and makes you think that you can go and outscore another team, it reminds me of a saying that we have in this country for my, in our football, Newcastle. I'm just reading this guy's comment. Yeah, I'm surprised there's another Geordie in the chat. That's all. I've lost my train of thought now.
You were saying that there's a saying around your part.
Yeah, it's offenses or attacking teams win games, but it's defenses that win you titles and win you championships. I think what we need to look at first is getting a team that's going to outscore an opposition, and then look at how we can basically plug the gaps after that. I think if you can show a player, look, we can go and outscore anybody here. We just need to fix the defense. I think.
We have that very same saying over here too. Offense scores touchdowns, defense wins championships.
Exactly, it's the same thing.
Yeah, man. So no, I definitely understand your lane of thought here and how to build around them. We appreciate having you, man. We're going to come back to you and continue to have you a part of the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe we have my man Edge in the building. Is that Edge? What's up, Edge? Or is that Dynasty King? Dynasty King. Sometimes you and my man Edge have the same profile, bro.
It's Big Mike, man. You remember me?
Yes, sir. What's up, Big Mike? How you been, brother?
I'm being good. Yo, I came in because I feel like you asked the ultimate question that everybody's thinking, and I think we can get all three. I'm really big on Van Pran from Georgia at center. I did a lot of research on him. I feel like he's someone that could be in that early third round. But I always told people, if I had to pick, I'm going defensive back. And the reason why is because everybody that we picked in signing is an upgrade at stopping the run. From the linebacker from Denver to both defensive ends, to Robinson from New York, everybody's an upgrade at stopping the run. But we know right now, if the year comes and the normalcy happens, which is normally J.C. Horn getting hurt, it's going to turn into Monday Night Football every game because we don't have anybody else in the back that can cover a number one receiver if J.C. Horn goes down. Now, I hear a lot of people saying you can't get a shutdown defensive back in the early third round. I mean, in the early second round. But I don't think that means you ignore the position. I
True.
think if you do that, you're shooting yourself in the foot. It's like saying, okay, I can't get the best defensive back in the backfield, so I'm going to allow quarterbacks to do whatever the hell they want to. And the reason why I feel like, but we have Alvaro, and Alvaro was able to make Band-Aids work on football players last year. So I can't say that a 33rd pick, a defensive back, with Alvaro and his genius at defense, won't be good enough to slow down the defense. And that's my point of view. But I really do feel you can get all three.
Man, you made a great point there, Mike. Go ahead, Ant. Go ahead, Ant.
No, I agree with them, but at the same time, it's like there are guys that like the Jarius Sneed was a 4th round pick. There are guys every draft. It just depends on, do you have an eye for the talent? So like even I would be happy if they take a cornerback. I don't care which round it is. You know, as long as they believe in that guy. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. We definitely need. I mean, that's one of our needs for sure is cornerback. Yeah, J.C. Horn, he hasn't really proven to be on the field enough to, just be like, all right. I understand when he is healthy, he's one of the best, but when we haven't seen it. But then at the same time, I'm looking at the other side, and Austin Corbett hasn't always been healthy either. So it's like, it's one of those things. Like I'm for either one, and we have so many holes. I'm just going to be looking at the board and saying, okay, this is what we need. Now, who's the best player available? That's kind of where I'm going with that.
If I may say something, Cody, I said this the other day on Spaces, and I mean this. I believe as deep as this position is, I heard several times this week that a lot of your pundits or experts, as you want to call them, think that there ain't but 3 top corners in the league, or 3 top corners in this draft that are worth a 1st round or a 2nd round pick. The rest of them are a Saturday pick, as I call Saturday, 4th through 7th rounds. Now, if that on all 4 of them or all 3 of them are projected to go in the 1st round now, so you're going to get a top player that's got a top grade fall to you. Now, I asked this simple question: what if you have a top 20 offensive tackle fall to you at 33? Because let's understand something. Taylor Moton is making $30 million this season and $30 million next season. If you cut him after this season, you save $30 million. Now, let's remember something. If the Panthers were going to extend him, they already would have. Or there's something stopping that. Be it him being Taylor Moton, the Panthers don't want to, or the agent says, we're not negotiating no more. So something's there that we're not seeing. Now, if you're the Panthers and you say, well, I'm going to extend Moton, and Icky performs super good this year, after 33 that you drafted a tackle, you're stuck. Because not all tackles can play on the inside. That's what I say. If a tackle falls to you, and I'm talking a top 20 tackle. I'm not talking about a guy who's destined to go in the 2nd round any damn way. So,
like top 20 at his position or top 20 in the draft.
Do not cross top 20 in the draft. Don't cross off offensive tackle if it's there. Because there's a reason. Because there's a reason why they haven't done Taylor Moton yet.
And I get your logic, and like, I think it's smart, but at the same time, it's like, who is going to play center for this team? We have no center.
I agree with that.
Like, we
Okay,
literally
so
don't have a center.
so on that notation, on that note, I think what a lot of people are doing is they're drooling over the two top centers they have in this draft, and because of how high they have them, they're not doing research on the other quality centers that's in this draft. Because when I
Oh, we
mentioned,
definitely have a center.
because
I don't.
like Van Pran, he's allowed one sack his whole college career,
Yeah,
one sack and one quarterback hit.
Yeah, we looked on Spaces. We've done some in-depth looks at the center. There's a few centers. That's not what I'm saying. Okay,
No, but no, I get what
I'm
you're
going to
saying.
ask you this: at 65, that's our third round pick. If
Yeah.
we're surrendering 65 or our fourth round pick to move up to draft a wide receiver, what makes you think in pick 4 or 5 a center is going to be there?
Well,
There's no
see,
point
I
in
was about
trading
to
up for a
comment
receiver.
on your left tackle scenario because I feel if you have a top 20 left tackle and he falls to number 33, you almost have to take him.
No, I agree.
You almost have to take him. Because not just the $30 million that you're going to save, it's because Taylor Morton also deals with a lot of arthritis. And that's something that if you do research, you know that means he's on the clock. And the last thing you want to do is even consider expanding someone long term even further that's dealing with a adrenaline issue. And we all know when it comes to building a team, the highest paid players is always your quarterback, your defensive ends, and your tackles. And that is set up for a lot of future success with that pick. So there's no way I go against it. Now I know people saying we need center more, but I feel you can get a center in a later round if you have a jewel like that drop to 33.
There's centers available. Yeah, that's very
I
true.
did want
But
to
like
add into that. Hold on.
Bowers, though.
Let me add into that because I think that's a fantastic point. You really have to associate what position has the best depth, because if the center depth is better than the corner depth, and you're looking at a top end corner or center at 33, well, you might want to take the one that's more scarce on talent, and that might be the cornerback position. I mean, I'll read this for y'all one more time. Outside of J.C. Horn, our cornerbacks are Dane Jackson, Deshaun Jameson, and DiCaprio Boodle. Like, that is no one, y'all. And J.C. Horn has been injury prone to this point. So you might need to take a corner at that position if you don't want teams throwing the ball all over us this year.
We also have Troy Hill in the slot. But
Troy Hill.
I understand what you're saying, Cody, but and maybe I think too much about it because for years we've had issues at corners, and for years we found somebody at final cuts or preseason or somewhere that fills in the gap. I mean, a lot of these guys sitting there now, for example, Gilmore's available, and he likely will be available after the draft. And
I wonder if that's what we're doing.
He very well may be available right before training camp, because even if he signs with you now, he ain't coming to off-season workouts. So,
well, that is that. Yeah, go ahead, Ant.
Oh no, sorry to cut you off. I agree. Listen, y'all are speaking a bunch of facts, but I've just come to this conclusion. There's too many goddamn holes for me to figure out what we're even going to do, man. Because it's like Pickle brings up tackle now. It's like, just take the best guy you have graded. Or if you don't feel comfortable at that spot, then just trade back and get more bites at the apple. That's honestly what the team should consider doing.
Hey, let me ask Alex,
since
it's almost 2 a.m. where Alex is, man. Let me get him in on the show and on the action. Alex, Panthers have long been rumored to want to sign Stephon Gilmore. Do you think that's something the Panthers will do? I mean, some fans feel it's only a matter of time. How do you feel And does that change the importance you put on the cornerback position in the draft?
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know enough about him personally to comment.
Sure.
The one thing that I would say though is that for me, a center isn't really as much of a skill position. I don't know if that's fair to say. I would have personally rather spent our higher up, picks in the draft on skill positions, and I don't particularly feel that is. Maybe I'm discrediting the
Very true.
importance
It's
of
very
a good
true.
center.
Wide receiver are deep though.
Yeah.
You sorry?
Well, I mean, that's a great point. I mean, certain positions are deeper than others. Again, to me, it's like if you have Stephon Gilmore or if you don't have Stephon Gilmore, this roster could use another young center at that position. And I just think that's something that the Panthers should probably try to fill early if they have the chance to. If not, it is going to be tough to fill all three of these positions. Did you have something you wanted to say, Deez? I didn't know if that was wanting to chime in or not.
No, I like the conversation. It's a precarious situation that the Panthers are in. I mean, we've said it multiple times. We don't have enough draft capital to fill all these holes in all these positions. And no matter what we do, even if we have a perfect draft, we're probably not going to be, winning the division and going to the playoffs and winning the Super Bowl next season. So we just need to see how the draft board kind of plays out. And hopefully we do get a GM that drops back to 33, or even better yet, like some of these mock drafts have pointed out over the early weekend, is maybe we get a QB hungry team that wants to trade up to 33. I know someone pointed out earlier in the chat that's most traded spot in the draft historically is pick number 33, the first one of the second round. And maybe we can really recoup some good draft capital there. I've seen, I think Kyle did a mock draft where we recouped like 47 or something like that. Anywhere, if we can trade back, or even a second round pick for next year. I think that's what Kuiper did. He made a trade and traded back, and we picked up a second round pick for next year. Because you got to remember, we gave up that 2025 second round for Bryce Young. So recouping that in this draft would be fantastic, and we'd still have some ammo there at 39, and maybe a 47 to 65. I think we'd be in good shape. We really will, because we got to remember, our second round picks are probably not going to be all stars in the league. And we shouldn't put that much pressure on the pick in my opinion anyway, because we're looking at taking a center that would develop behind Corbett in case he was injured. So, and same thing at tackle, that he would be developing behind Moten unless Moten was to get injured. So we can't freak out too much about it. There's a lot of different ways we could go, and I think they're all good opinions, Cody.
Hey, to anyone who wants to answer this, man, it's a free for all, so jump in on it. Do you feel like it's only a matter of time until we sign Stephon Gilmore, or is this a chance that might not happen still?
I don't think it may not happen, to my opinion.
Can I? This isn't related to the Gilmore thing, but this is cornerback related. I will say to Pickle's point, I do think at some point there is a drop off at cornerback, just not that early. I think the drop off is more around after the fourth round, because looking through the list of cornerbacks who are in this draft, I see a lot of guys who are day 2, and there's still some that are day 3 picks as well. So I do think this cornerback class is, I would say it's actually deeper than some people or reporters might be saying they think it is, because there's guys who could be on day 3 that I think could be day 2 picks, like DJ James, who we took. I believe you guys took him last week in the mock draft. Max Melton from Rutgers, he's a day 2 guy. TJ Tampa, Kamari Lassiter, Ennis Rakestraw Jr. Cooper DeJean had a really good private workout. A lot of people have been saying. The top 3 corners are definitely Terry and Arnold, Quinion Mitchell, and Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think they're definitely in the top tier, but then there's that second tier that's still really good with Nate Wiggins, Cooper DeJean, and some other guys. I do think it's not as deep as receiver in this draft, but it is still a deep position. This draft overall is it's a deep draft for most positions, not all of them, obviously. Like safety is not a very good one this year. I can't off the top of my head. I can't really think of any other. Maybe defensive tackle, but this draft is still a pretty deep draft at a bunch of positions.
Yeah, it's deeper than you might think at that corner
Yeah.
position. And by the way, we are going to do a mock draft here in a few minutes where everyone can participate and have their say so on what position is drafted. So stick around for that. I wanted to show one more thing that I found on Twitter that I found to be very interesting. And it's this one right here that talks about off-season spending. And as of right now, the biggest off-season spenders in terms of free agent signings and extensions is none other than the Carolina Panthers at $355 million. And yet some people said that we really didn't make a lot of splash signings in free agency, that we didn't sign a blue chip prospect per se, or none of the bigger name free agents. What do you feel about Carolina spending so much? And thus far, do you feel like it's been worth it and warranted?
I wouldn't read too much into that, if I'm honest. I think it needed to be done. I don't think there's much reading into that to be done. It reads nice and reads interesting that we've spent the most, but
I think it shows a different regime.
Yeah, I like how the contracts are listed, and you can look at the spendings and that big $355 million number and think, wow. But if you break down each contract that we signed, they are no the right guard we took. It's basically a 2-year deal with a team option after that. It really is. It's really truly is. About every single one of these deals that they've signed are basically 2-year deals with.
Yeah, Tillis is doing his work over there.
I mean, he's making excellent contracts.
Yeah,
excellent. No more of these BS contracts we made over the years. And to that one gentleman's dude from across the pond, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. I really apologize.
That's Alex.
Alex, but that 355, I agree. It's nothing really to be big. It's making up for all the years, to be honest with you, that we've failed to draft. We used to draft at least 1 or 2 picks out of the draft that was good. Maybe at times 3 or 4 out of 7 picks. Now, since Matt Rule era on, we're lucky to get 1 pick out of a draft that's worth keeping.
Well, and that goes back to saying, like, to me, this whole off-season spending. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but like other teams during the off-season, the bad teams, they spend a lot of money, and then it doesn't always work out. But like you said, Pickle, the contracts seem pretty friendly,
Right.
So hopefully in the next 2 years, we're drafting a little better, because it's going to come down to that. At the end of the day, we got to draft better.
And to that point, Alex, you mentioned it too. A lot of the times, when you do have a team that's in the bottom of the NFL, they just sort of throw money at the problem. And if you're paying all the wrong players, then you're putting a Band-Aid over a gaping wound.
Right.
And hoping that it doesn't become infected, So it all depends on the type of talent that we ended up hiring. What does Robert Hunt do for this team? What does Gabriel Lewis do for this team? What does 2 years of a Jadeveon Clowney contract do for this team? These are very important questions right now.
Cody, I agree. And one thing I want to bring up real quick. On the first day of free agency, we signed Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis, offensive linemen. I like those signings a lot better than I liked Pat Elflein and Cam Irving signings. A whole lot.
I agree with that. Now, while we talking about draft picks, this is an analogy that I want to bring up because I saw it from Mel Kiper. And maybe not with the Giants, but there's one thing that I have a lot of belief in. I believe that the second day of the draft, you got the first pick of the second round. If one of these top quarterbacks fall, that phone will be ringing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What do we feel about trading back?
Early on, I think if you listen to my spaces, these can tell you, and Evan and I'm not always in favor of trading back, but the more I think about it this week, the more I think that may be a good idea. Or if it happens, that's good. I just want to what I want to call better value. Earlier this week there was a guy, or late last week, projected the Panthers should trade back and we'd get an extra fourth round this year and a fourth round next year, and I nearly threw up. Mel Kiper did one today, and he projected we'd get a second round pick next year.
Somebody in the comment section or in the chat room earlier put that the 33rd pick is the most traded draft pick in all the draft. So Mike brings up a great question.
To have a first round pick for it.
Yeah, and again, like we're talking about, is it a receiver, a corner, is it a center? Like if you're able to slide back even a couple of spots and be able to make sure that you hit on each one of those, dude, then you're killing it at that point. And you already have another second round pick. I'm down with that 1,000%. It just depends on how far down and what type of deal they would end up getting for it and who they drafted in that place. Yeah, if Dan is able to facilitate that type of trade, I'm into it. I would even be down to draft a receiver, a center, and then trade back up to draft a corner, or in the order of those.
You've been listening to Kyle too much.
I'm telling you, man, make that shit happen.
Okay, I feel that. Well, there's two teams that I feel would possibly want to trade up at that 33rd. And the first team I feel is Las Vegas. If they don't draft a quarterback in the first round, I can see whether it's Michael or Bo Nix sitting there at 33 and Vegas calling. What I would prefer is their 44 and their 77th. If it's possible to add on to that. To have still 2 second-round picks, but then add an additional third-round pick, I think would be a win in this deep of draft.
Okay. I mean, 44, though, that would be 44. That's 13 spots to drop, though. I mean, that might be some blue-chip players in those 13 spots moving
you
from...
might be able to get both picks from that. If you trade that far down, like you might be able to get both those picks from them, because 33 is basically a number one or a round one pick.
But let's also remember, because we like when Scott Fitterer first got here, we liked all his trading back. We thought that was amazing until we actually got the players and the season started and we realized all the talent he left on the board. Remember, we have a big need at center, and we also have a dysfunctioned Terrence Marshall. Too bad we couldn't swap that pick out with what Kansas City took.
You know what? And I really sat back and I thought about that somewhat, how happy he was when he traded back and was doing what he did. And I realized I was happy until I saw footage of them in the war room looking like they didn't have a fucking idea what they was doing when it came down to draft picks. It seemed like they were just thinking on the fly with everybody they was picking up. I guess we'll get Jonathan Mingo. I'm not sure. What do you think? It's like there was no planning. There was no big board. There was no solidified execution. And one thing I feel that Dan Morgan has shown, at least to me, this past offseason, was he has a plan.
Yeah. It didn't seem like we had one last year, man. It seemed like we wanted an edge rusher, and then we blinked because we didn't get an edge rusher with the first few picks. Then we traded up for DJ Johnson. It just seemed like last year there wasn't a plan, and now they are trying to formulate that plan. And I think Dan Morgan has done a damn good job to this point. And his draft strategy, man, who knows what he's going to end up doing. I think he could do either. I don't necessarily see him trading up. I wouldn't rule it out. But I think right now we're probably looking to get more picks.
Cody, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
We've talked about center. We even talked about tackle. We talked about wide receiver. We talked about all these positions of the need. I want you to tell me one edge rusher, or as some people still call them, outside linebackers in this system, that will scare the defenses when rushing the quarterback.
You mean on the roster now?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, there are no names that strike fear. There are no names that strike fear into your heart, Pickle. It depends on what you think of Amari Barno. It depends on what you think of Kelvon Chason, which I know some people were high on that. Some people were like, whatever. Don't forget, what's the guy that we just signed? DJ Wanham. DJ Wanham is a name who had 8 sacks last year. I mean, Jadeveon Clowney and DJ Wanham, those are your name edge rushers for the Panthers this year. And if that doesn't do much for you, then you might be left one. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, man, let me welcome my man, Vegas Drew, back on the Friday free-for-all on the camera this time. Drew, what's up, man? Hey, you're muted, brother. You're muted. Unmute your microphone. There you go.
Whoops. I'm driving. I forgot I left my camera on. Oh, well, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Pickle, it's basically, I feel like the Panthers are playing like money ball with the defensive ends this year. They're just like, let's see what the hell happens. We got all these okay guys. Maybe we could scheme something. But realistically, all you really need is you're either going to – there's two ways to really survive as a defense in the modern, quote-unquote, modern NFL. It's either you got some solid corners that could cause enough disruption that you could get a sack, coverage sacks, or you have a super disruptive defensive line and then suspect corners that could just cover for short stints. And I feel like we're kind of hoping that we're on the better cover corner situation, but that might also require us getting somebody in the draft, or Gilly, as we've discussed many times on here.
Yeah. Man, mean, like I said, even if we did draft Gilmore, I wouldn't be mad at even another corner. Like if they drafted,
no, I wouldn't either.
If they signed Gilmore and drafted another corner at 33 or 39, I'm not mad at all.
That's why I'm a big Cooper guy, because that dude could play safety and he could play corner. It's like what we've done with some of our other, like Luke. When he first came in, he didn't go middle linebacker right off the bat because we had Beeson. We try to play him where he can, and then once he's ready, you put him in that position he's need. If we had that Cooper kid, we could just drop him in at safety, let him fill in, where he can until he takes over that corner position. That's, my hope. That's my view on that. I don't think that's going to come to true, but yeah, you can hope.
Okay.
The only guy I'm really the only guy I'll say I'm a G baby about is I really like Ladd McConkey. I think that dude. As I said many times, if people are on here bitching about no separation from wide receivers, this dude has got the separation. Like he can separate, and he doesn't have to rely on athleticism and crap route running to separate. He is a technician of the position. He just isn't 6'4" and runs a 4.2 40.
Yeah.
Well, see, now what was just mentioned right before then was we don't have a defensive end that strikes fear in the eyes of the quarterback. If we don't have a defensive end that straightens the eyes of the quarterback, and I feel there's no
I don't think
edge
Burns did
rusher.
either.
I mean, I don't think there's an edge rusher in the second round that can really hold that weight. But what I do feel, if we don't have strike, because we really have already, by what they've built on defense, we are forcing them to be more one-dimensional and attack through the air. Javion Clowney's good at stopping the run. DJ's good at stopping the run. JJ from Denver's good at stopping the run. Robinson's good at stopping the run. Derek Brown's good at stopping the run. So what they did was they really focused on our biggest weakness on our defense. The problem is, I feel you force teams to be one-dimensional and they have to go to an aerial attack. And since we don't have that edge rusher that's going to get to be a game changer, get in the backfield, I think if you don't get someone that can help help cover these receivers, it's going to be a lot of passing yards from quarterbacks and a lot of receivers eating consistently when they come in Bank of America Stadium.
The best
You don't necessarily need, I think it's kind of just a misnomer that you need elite edge rushers. There's two ways to get pressure. We could also have, we got Brown. If we could get like the Fisk kid, someone who's also, the best pressure we could get, especially in our own division, is going to be pressure up the middle. And that could cause more trouble, even if they're not getting sacks. Getting them off the spot is more disruptive than getting sacks. Or it could push them into the ever-waiting arms of our suspect defensive end. If you have a solid up the middle, pressure-wise.
All right, I got a couple of different thoughts for the defensive line. Like, I would like for us maybe to pick up a guy that would back up Shy Tuttle, because we're kind of dependent on Shy Tuttle to play that nose tackle position. We know that Robinson's playing the opposite side of Brown, and surely those guys can stop the run. But did Tuttle play that great in the middle last season? I mean, not really. He didn't. We gave up the most rushing touchdowns of any team in the league. So sure enough, that position with a guy like Fisk, I don't think that's a bad pick. I like Sweat myself at 330 or 360 pounds, whatever he is. He'd be a good guy to come in and spell Shy Tuttle. That'd be effective. And what I don't like about the edge rusher argument, and I understand the fact we do need one. I don't think Wanham and Clowney is the guys of the future for the Panthers at edge rusher. I really don't. I think they can be serviceable for this year. I think, we patched it up the best we could. But what I don't like is trading Brian Burns for that pick number 39 and then taking like a Chop Robinson right there, a developmental end that's going to be used in rotation. I'd rather that pick 33 and pick 39 be spent on guys that are going to start for this defense. And Cody, just a minute ago, you said that you felt like the Panthers could take another corner at 33, even if we got Gilmore. I mean, does that mean you just don't believe in Dane Jackson? Because when Dan Morgan was in Buffalo, that's who he wanted to draft, was Dane Jackson. He really likes that player. Do you not believe that he's a number 2 corner in the league? What are you trying to say?
I mean, I guess it's because he's
Buffalo
I know
doesn't
he's
even believe in Dane
around
Jackson.
a lot. Yeah, I know he's bounced around a lot, and again, that happens sometimes, man. Look at Frankie Louvu, who was sort of bounced around before he finally showed what he was able to do. Listen, if they like him, then I like that he's a scheme fit for what they want to do. But just knowing that you've lost Dante Jackson, you've lost CJ Henderson, you need youth at that position. And I feel like that's something that is going to continue to be very important for us. Like we said, if we're able to stuff up the run, like it looks like we're going to, with the addition of Robinson and Clowney, now teams are going to have to pass the ball. And if you're dependent upon J.C. Horn and Dane Jackson, I'm not certain that he's enough yet. Maybe I'm not familiar enough with him, and that is certainly a possibility. But right now, I do believe that we're in need of a younger, more dynamic corner type of player to be able to pair with J.C. Horn. And man, after looking at Cooper DeJean and Nate Wiggins, like there really is some high-end talent at the corner position in this draft that we might not want to pass up on.
I've watched a lot of Buffalo.
Well, hold on, let But let me let Pickle go in first, and then I'll head back to you. Go ahead, Pick.
No problem.
Dane Jackson was developed on the Buffalo's practice squad. He's been there since 2020, but he went on and off the practice squad because that's where he developed until he was ready to play and start. And they started him, and I think he looked pretty decent. But I'll be honest with you. I looked at film on him when we signed him. He's not bad. He's not bad. He's pretty good considering he was, I think, undrafted, and they developed him for a few years. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's not a Pro Bowler, but he's damn sure better than what we had last year. I think he's better than the other Jackson we suckered the Steelers into taking.
See,
go ahead, Drew.
My wife's a big Buffalo Bills fan, so I've watched a lot of Buffalo games because the Panthers blew ass last year, and I would just like get so frustrated I'd cut off and on and watch the Bills game. And I watched a lot of Dane Jackson, dude. He's not that good. What you're seeing when you watch him play is that they used to have him next to Tre'Davious White, and White, when healthy, was a solid player. Can't stay healthy, so he was the number 2. And then when White goes out, they put in some real scrubs. So what you have is offensive scheming to get their best receiver on the opposite side of Dane Jackson, and Dane Jackson guarding, third and second wide receivers, and benefiting from less talent and letting his other corners just get torched. So I mean, yeah, he was not bad, but that doesn't mean he's going to be any good. He'll probably look decent for us because we'll have the number 1 with J.C. Horn, and he'll be covering the number 2s. He doesn't have he can't guard the slot. He's like a slow, like kind of a zone defensive corner. Like he's all right. Like he's not. I didn't like jump for joy when we signed Dane Jackson. He had a lot of holding penalties. He had a lot of illegal contact penalties. He's physical. He stops the run, but he's just not. I mean, it's not like it's a whatever. If we got rid of him next year, I wouldn't be surprised, especially if we draft a corner.
With all due respect, my friend, I think J.C. Horn reminds me a lot of Desarius White on his injury issues, where he's out all the time for injuries.
Well, his are less serious though. Like Tre'Davious had like ACL, and then he had Achilles, and then he like broke his leg. Like this dude's like falling apart.
Yeah. Well,
I still would have taken a flyer on him for a couple bucks.
He's still available in free agency, by the way. Like I said,
no, he got signed.
Did he? When did? Okay.
Someone picked him up. I think the Steelers. Maybe? I can't remember. Someone signed him.
Who we talking about?
Tre'Davious White.
Oh yeah. Dude, Buffalo lost a lot of people, dude. They lost Jordan Poyer. They lost Tre'Davious White. What's the other guy they left? They lost.
Micah Hyde.
Yeah, Micah Hyde.
Davis,
they lost a lot of them, man. That's a big deal for them. Mitch Morris.
Speaking of corners, if I may ask, a lot of people's mentioned him. Cody talked about him. Evans talked about him. A lot of people on this panel's talked about him so far. And I heard the discussion this week. I keep hearing this discussion, and it's nothing that we haven't brought up, but Evan has on Spaces. Is Cooper DeJean a corner or a safety?
Oh, that man's a corner. That man is
a corner. There was reports that some teams see him as a safety, but I think it's just because he has so much speed. Like they'll just we can put him as a free safety and let him wreck shit.
That makes no sense to me. And I have even back when Cody wanted to put Jackson at safety. If you put a guy at safety just because he's fast, you're eliminating his ability to keep up with wide receivers.
Well, and I'm not even saying put DeJean at corner or safety.
He's also good at like
the dude has some good hips and he's able to mirror. He had like 4 interceptions this past year. I mean,
he's also a good what do you want to call it? playing center field. Like he returns punts and stuff. So he's good in playing in space. So I think that's why they see him transferring to like a safety. He knows his way around the field. He doesn't like locked into one side.
Now I'm also
screaming he's a safety, not a corner.
I mean, listen, we all need to do our own evaluation of it. We are going to look at some corners here soon, but my own evaluation of him, I think his hips are flexible enough to be able to mirror wide receivers at the next level. Yeah, I would leave him there, man. I think that he doesn't necessarily need to change positions. It just depends on how you play him and what type of role you play in.
Corner.
Yeah.
Well, just like I said, just when you had Luke, you didn't, everybody knew he was a middle linebacker, but you played him strong side, weak side. But I granted, Beason got hurt. Beason got hurt, and it didn't matter. But it's one of those, like you try to get the most talented people on the field, however you can. And if he's someone that can play safety, and he's an improvement over whoever the hell we have at safety, then play him there. And that way you could keep, Dane Jackson, who is serviceable to play that number 2, and then let Troy Hill play that slot or whatever, big nickel, whatever the hell he plays.
Yeah. I'm into it.
But, it's all theoretical anyways. Like, all this stuff. We have, like, hopes and dreams. Like, everybody thought, oh, this guy's going to be a stud. And then they come out and they're trash. And then, oh, I never said that. That's like keep the receipt stuff. Just like Cody and I, we were screaming so much about not getting Bryce Young, but it is what it is. Hopefully he has a turnaround year. Hopefully, the coaching, especially the defense, we'll see what Avero can do with a little bit more talented. Maybe we give him some more talented players. I'm all down for going after Sweat. Now that he's getting, he's probably going to drop down to like the 4th or the 5th round because he got a DUI.
Listen, we're gonna.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Alex.
I was going to say, just on the subject of Bryce, before we go any further, do you think people are slating Bryce as much just because we're seeing what Stroud is doing for Texas?
For sure,
it's both. I
mean,
he underperformed, and it also looks worse.
If it's if it's fair or unfair, the fact that CJ Stroud, who went number 2, had the best rookie season that a quarterback has ever had and won a playoff game, like, even if you know the context about how bad the Panthers were, that it's always going to be a bad comparison until Bryce Young is able to do something, Maybe in a few years down the road, we're going to say that the Panthers made the right pick. But until that happens, until they turn it around, the media at large is going to continue to say that the Panthers made the wrong pick. And if we're Panther fans, we just have to deal with it until we turn shit around the other direction.
Do you think, though, if they were directly swapped, do you think you'd be getting the same out of Stroud here, though? I don't think he'd be carrying us. I think you'd be seeing a better Bryce.
It's so hard to know, man. I'll say this. So I'll say this. I do not think that CJ Stroud would have been on the Panthers what he was with the Texans. However, I also don't know that it would have been as bad as Bryce. The fact of the matter is, we will never know. We'll never know, and now we just have to build around the quarterback that we have.
I actually kind of agree with you there, Cody. I mean, I know people say like Stroud wouldn't have. I definitely don't think he would have been that much better than Bryce, but I do feel like maybe he would have done better than Bryce, and Bryce maybe would have done worse with the Texans, just because like I still think Bryce can be our QB, but I do feel like Stroud and just his mentality and the way he plays, I feel like, because even last year, I mean, everybody was saying Stroud can't extend the play. The Texans last year, like, they had a decent O-line, but he extended plays really well last year and didn't go down very easily last year. And he proved everybody wrong in that aspect of.
And earlier in the season, he had a bunch of different backup offensive linemen too.
Yeah.
Everybody was saying how trash that lineup was. They're like, oh, that Houston's going to be the worst team in the league. And they're like, I remember there was a slight, not just with us Panthers fans, there was actually some group that was actually saying, "Oh, watch out for Carolina. They quietly put some pieces together," and it just.
And
So
by
it's
the
like
way,
opposite ends. You have all the.
I wanted to point this out too.
And we do it.
Even if it takes multiple years before we see who was the better pick between the two of them, dude, the narrative might not change even after this year. I mean, Houston goes out and gets Stephon Diggs. Like, you think CJ Stroud and that dude aren't going to make a connection? You know, it's like that's going to happen. This is
I don't know, man. Diggs is volatile. He's a hard guy to pin down.
He
Definitely
is,
talented,
dude, but he's so
but he could also be like he could be such a cancer in a group. Just his pouty shit that he pulls. Like he does that, and you have like you lose all your good for you. Like everybody's he's distributing that ball evenly. When you start to get a type A wide receiver, is like, I got the ball. I'm the best receiver here. You never know what that's going to do to that room.
No, you're certainly right, man. It's going to be an interesting dynamic to follow. But hey, we're going to do the Pro Football Network's mock draft simulator this time. We've been using PFF, but I wanted to try this out and see if this works a little better. We're going to start a little bit early. So this is how we're going to do it. The Panthers are going to be on the clock at some point. We're going to look at all the players available, and this is going to be our mock draft, and we're all going to decide together who we're drafting. All 7 rounds, normal speed. Before we start, let me introduce my man back to the show, Mr. Strats. What's up, brother?
Hey, what up? How you guys?
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Doing good. I'm just sorting some Legos right now. What did I miss?
Fun. Dude, you're just in time for a mock draft, bro. We're gonna go over all this stuff about who is or what position group is the worst on the team right now. What position do we need to draft? All that goes into it, man. Really appreciate everybody joining us. Let's jump into this, man. As soon as I hit enter, the draft starts. We're drafting for the Panthers. We're on the way, man. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels.
So far, the
off
draft
the board.
simulator is being realistic, at least.
Yeah, now it did have the neighbors over Harrison. That probably isn't
a trade. Wait, this thing can do trades with the CPU.
I listened to a podcast today involving 3 of ESPN's top mock draft guys,
to the
and some of them have neighbors is better than Marvin Harrison. I don't know that I believe that, but that's what they say.
Oh my gosh! I already like who we have here.
Wow, Seattle wants us to move all the way back to 81.
No. Well, they give us a first next year.
They're offering us a first next year for next year.
Damn. Well, man, we're not going to be able to do this. I mean, even still.
I would take that. In a real life, I would take that. I might have to go
81 pickle. You're going to move down 31.
They give us their first 3 picks next year.
Yeah, exactly. I
would take that. Oh, shit, dude.
I'd have to take that. I mean,
I agree. You have to take that. Like, you're not going to be able to change the whole team with 1 pick at 33, but you might be able to make a big difference with 5 picks.
Yeah, I'd have to take that.
I mean, do y'all really want me to take this now, though? We're not going to do that.
Not in mock draft. No.
Yeah,
not in this mock, but in real life, I would take that.
No, you're
but in
right,
real life,
but that'll never happen. Oh my lord!
No, that's way too much.
All right, let's look at what we have here, man. Graham Barton, the center from Duke, who is another position that hasn't been mentioned enough.
Graham Barton can play every position. He can play center, guard. He's a guy that's extremely versatile.
Troy Franklin is available.
Leggett.
Not really a corner that I would value here right now, if I'm being very honest. Peyton Wilson's still available.
Honestly, with who's left, I would take Johnny Newton. He's a really good defensive tackle. He's not necessarily a nose, but he can get you. He's really good at getting pressure up the middle. And him and Derek Brown in the middle would be a really good duo. And I know that that's not a huge need, but that's BPA. If everybody wants to go BPA, then you go Johnny Newton with this pick.
The talent, you're right. You're absolutely right. He is a stud. I
mean, who are the centers left? Other than Graham Barton, who are the centers left? I get center's a big need, but Johnny Newton, he's a first-round pick. He could go in the 10s range, in between 10 or 20, and even later.
Yeah.
Graham Barton is available. Zach Frazier is still available. Cedric Van Pran, who Mike mentioned earlier, is available.
I thought Graham Barton was a guard. Is he just like looped in all interior offensive line?
On this website, they have them differentiated. They have center and they have guard. Barton is listed as a center, and so is Zach Frazier, also listed as the center. Wide receivers available right now.
I would wait until 39 actually.
Xavier Leggett.
Getting a receiver. I don't know. I want center, but
what's the overall?
Michael Penix and Bo Nix are available in this draft.
I know, that's why the trade. This would be a good point to trade back. Honestly, if we missed out on wide receivers and corners, I'd say trade back. But
do you want to try and trade back?
Who is there? Is there anybody looking for a spot? Does this one give you like the Raiders, or who's just below us?
Scroll actually.
Damn, Cody.
It doesn't give you a scroll bar, man.
Oh, gotcha. 77 is way too far. Oh, okay. Yeah, 44. That's too far too.
I mean, the Colts.
What's a little bit higher up? If there's any something between 33 and 39?
Maybe
Washington.
Washington took a QB.
No, not for a QB, but I guess that's kind of our point here, isn't it?
They got to pick anyways, like just after
Try
us.
the Raiders.
Yeah, try the Raiders.
All right, what are we trading them?
Oh, if we're dropping that far, they're giving us 77. We're getting 44 to 77 at least.
Yeah, try 44.77.
Oh, you got to click on the trade button. You got.
Oh, yeah. You're just looking at their picks, is all.
Yeah,
close out of that.
You just click on them to click on look at their picks.
Oh, yeah, you can click trade in the center.
Yeah. All right.
The Raiders.
All right, what do we have here?
44.77 for 33.
44.
It's funny, they're all double numbers. I don't know why that catches my eye.
77
for 33.
Oh, y'all really want to do that?
Hey, see if they'll give us a 148 too, just for the hell of it,
or a third next year. I know that doesn't really help us, but it's just
don't worry about next year in this mock. Just give us.
Yeah, I gotcha. I'm with you.
Click on 148.
No, not ours.
No, not us. Over there where it says
take 148.
The Vegas, just drop down there to 148.
Just like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing else?
No.
Yeah, they'll probably deny it. Confirm proposal?
Yeah.
Nah, they say hell nah, dog.
They just said we ain't giving all that.
Right. Who's between us and our 33rd pick?
Well, yeah, you can still do that, but just leave out the 148.
Do the
Click
same?
Propose trade. Yeah. To the Vegas. Yeah.
You could try to take 208 or something instead. I don't know if you want to get dicking around or not.
Yeah, I don't know that they'll give you both 44 and 77, but we can try. and then click
You want
on
to do 44 and
Well, if you really want to think in the future, you might be able to get a first out of them next year.
I do
Well, yeah,
44
but
and 70.
you want to do
but that don't
44 and
that'll
112?
No, I do 44 and
Yeah.
77.
I would
think
try
that'll-
just 44 and 77, and
Yeah.
then if they reject it, then try something else. Because if
Yeah.
they wouldn't give us
Throw 'em- try and
77
throw 'em
as
like
well, I
142.
personally wouldn't trade that far down unless they would give us a high second or third from next year. That's just too big of a drop down to just
Yeah.
take a later round pick.
Yeah, there's no upside for us at that point.
44 and
Try to do 44 and 77 and give them like the 142nd pick of ours.
well.
and
Just to
add
After
one
that,
more.
I'd
or
be able
two
to
for
trade
two?
with
no,
them.
just leave that. See what comes up.
Probably not. No.
Yeah, that's the thing with this simulator is it's super weird. It's like super hard to get a trade.
Yeah, I've messed with this one too.
But I'm
All
sorry.
right, so if we decide to take a pick,
How
we have-
New
we
York
have
going to
the
get another
39
edge?
Yeah, we
That's
have
funny.
the 39 pick as well. Y'all want to just draft a
That's
center?
hilarious. New
here?
York's going to get another edge.
I mean, we could just vote on who we all want.
Yeah, let's just vote. What? Who y'all want? Pickle? Who you want?
Well, click on defense. I want to see what edges are available. Okay.
See,
Isaiah.
if anything, when it comes to edge, I wouldn't mind waiting until next year with our first rounder. Sorry, Cody.
No, you're fine.
I want to get a prolific elite
center,
wide
a
receiver
I
with
just
my
pick Brad Martin or
first round
a
pick next
center.
year. That's what I would say.
It doesn't really. A center's fine.
But I if Newton falls like that, fuck it, just get that boy.
You want to draft Barton?
Yeah.
Pickle, you said Barton D. You there? All right, we'll come back. Drew, you there? What position?
Yeah. I would just. I mean, shit. I guess Barton.
Q20, you there? My man Alex, are you there?
Yeah, I mean,
Cody's getting ghosted.
But to be honest, I don't know enough about the college lads to be able to give you an
You're
opinion.
fine, dude. You don't have to just position. Would you rather take a center or, I don't know. I mean, just anything you see on the board here, man.
Personally, I'd
Edge.
be going for wide receiver, but
receiver.
I can go with a center as well. Like,
Is there a wide receiver in particular, or you're not sure?
no, like I say, I haven't seen any of the
Alright.
college stuff, so I wouldn't be able to pick a name. I just think that's an area of the field we need.
All right, so the vote position if you had to pick center or wide receiver.
I would say wide receiver.
All right, so we'll just say Troy Franklin, who is on the list of meetings for the Panthers. Strats, what say you, man?
I don't really.
I'll go center.
Troy Franklin.
All right,
We don't have one, right? So then we need one.
All right, that pretty much does it, man. Center rules the day. Barton or Frazier? Probably Barton, huh?
Well, I like Frazier, but like at this point, I guess Barton.
Well,
Well,
let me
I
make the
know
point here.
in most of our other mock drafts we do Frazier, so I would vote Barton.
Well, you can get your wide receivers all day long. I mean, I'm not saying you can't play that wide receiver and have him catch a pass if your quarterback doesn't have a proper center that's gonna, you know what I mean? It all
What's the
starts with
specs
the
on
center.
Barton right there? What's the specs on dude right there?
All right.
You able to pull that up? Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah, you there. All right, we're gonna draft.
Hey Cody, can you hear me?
Barton. Yeah, do you hear me?
Yo,
Yeah, do you hear us?
I can hear you. Can I see the specs on Barton? I don't really know who that is.
Barton, 6'5", 313 pounds, and
Guys, zoom in, I can't see it.
9.99 RAS. Yeah, I'm all over it.
Yeah, it sounds like you gotta get that man, dude.
Yeah,
I really want Powers, but because that's who I got a lot of info on. But dude, that guy sounds legit.
Hey, they want to give us their first again.
Woo! Yeah, the first. That next year first. Hold on, I'd send it, bro. No. Is it too late to go back?
Yeah, we're not doing that. Not right now, man.
The next year's first is very valuable.
But it don't
It
help.
doesn't
with
matter
mock.
for this mock though.
Yeah, it's not like it's the real thing. It's just us screwing around.
It was the real
I'm just saying,
thing.
dude, just have that up.
I understand, but it ain't like this first round pick next year is going to benefit you this year. Fact is, it won't benefit you
Well, let me
next
put
year.
it this way.
Next
Do you
next
think
year-
that offer would actually happen in real life?
I feel like somebody might, honestly, Bo
Let's be
Nix
honest with
or
ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves here.
If they offer
trying to
it,
get
I'm
they trying to
taking
get a
it.
quarterback, dude.
I'm gonna
They're
take
trying to
it
get a
with it.
quarterback, and that's going back a lot of picks. That's a whole round, I believe.
And so
I can
right
see that
now,
happening.
Right
Just
now,
like
Troy
they,
Franklin.
just like right there. What's it called right there above us? For Bo Nix.
I just looked at this, Cody. We should have tried to trade with Denver at 37. I bet they would have moved up. They actually think, I think Bo Nix is kind of like a poor man's Drew
Let's stop
Brees.
making this complicated. The trades just make things more complicated because we don't actually know what's going to happen in real life anyway. So let's just focus on what we have and what we can get with what we have.
Look at.
Hey, stop
There's
bringing logic into this.
Robinson right there, but
we need logical people on this.
So wide receiver, if we're going wide receiver,
I'm definitely getting logical shit for a first round pick. I could see us giving up some to get their quarterback.
What position would y'all rather go right here? Hold on, y'all. Everybody shut the hell up for a minute, damn it. Troy Franklin.
But in all honesty, I look at cornerback though. That's the main. That'd be my main pick right here at 39. After you already got your center.
Leggett.
Xavier Leggett.
You don't got any cornerbacks up there?
Corner.
Corner.
Nobody worth picking this early.
Max Melton's good.
Yeah,
but
not this
I would
early.
take Leggett.
Yeah, I'm all about
fuck
the
it,
wide
Leggett.
receiver at this point. Now, why? Hold up. Why would y'all want?
What do y'all think about Troy?
That's what I'm about to ask. Why do y'all say Leggett over Troy Franklin?
Leggett.
I feel that Troy Franklin has a little bit of a better route tree.
Either him or Troy Franklin, but Leggett's the better for the crowd. Me personally, I'd probably get Troy Franklin though.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. If I had to pick right now, I might pick Troy
That's just
Franklin.
my opinion though.
Yeah,
I
think Leggett can expand his tree. I mean, they've said that he can expand his tree. Like, Leggett might not have a huge tree, but I mean, really,
he's just not as agile. I want agile. I like people like Ladd McConkey, Troy Franklin, Xavier Worthy. You know, those are my people out, like my go-to receivers in the first couple rounds.
Not me looking at this. You know, I'm saying either I'm going for the two picks that no one even mentioned. I'm saying Roman Wilson or Ricky Pearsall. I like Ricky, honestly, but I mean,
they're going to be available a lot later, though.
You never know. Like even in this nonsense draft we're doing, you never know. Like there always is some weird shit that happens. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. I'm not really sold on any like Troy Franklin or even Leggett, but hell, what do I know? I'm not a.
Hey man, let me real quick. Hold on, Pickle. Let me welcome my man C3 JJ back on the Friday free for all.
What up, JJ?
What's up,
JJ? What up?
All right, bet. Y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. What's up, dude?
Xavier's definitely the people's choice here, though.
Is that Christian talking?
To South Carolina.
Nah, that's Drew and Q20.
Drew? Nah, Drew captain, man. Troy's the man. Yeah, I immediately heard Troy's a fraud, so. Man.
He's a fraud.
I'm a fan.
The only reason.
Why are y'all slandering Troy? I'm a fan.
Nobody said Troy was a fraud in here.
Yeah, I was approving of Troy. I said Troy over Xavier.
I didn't say he's a fraud. I'm just not sold on Troy Franklin as a top. Like he's like I don't know.
Hey, so who would y'all want right
unpolished, here? I'll say.
Oh, I don't really.
My vote, just so everyone knows, my vote right here, Troy Franklin. Not only is it different from what we normally do, I think Troy Franklin complements the team better.
Okay.
Is Keon Coleman still on the board?
No.
I think he got taken already.
Yeah.
I don't know who took him, but I think he got taken in the first round.
Yeah.
Who did?
I think you got to take a receiver. One of those receivers. Those are all the good ones are going to be gone.
I hope he gets taken in the first round, just so I don't have to face up where you're going to take it. I'll go with Troy Franklin just for the pure simple hell of it.
Yeah, I go Troy Franklin too.
Even though other than Jonathan Stewart, they ain't been a person from Oregon worth of shit for the Panthers.
Well, I'll just let mine known. I'm a Pearsall, Ricky, so I know no one's want him, but I think he's going to be like a solid player.
Pearsall might be. He might be all right. I'm not.
He's got really good hands. So
that dude had the catch. That dude had the catch of the year last year. That's for sure.
Yeah, he did.
All right. So, are we decided what we're doing?
Troy Franklin.
All right, Troy Franklin going once.
Xavier Legette.
Who is BP?
I agree with Xavier Legette. I mean,
I say Troy Franklin.
But
we need a receiver that gets open in short yardage.
Hey,
short
Cody,
yardage.
Cody,
Receiver that can get open.
Let's select on Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah, let's
Pickle,
do that.
shut the hell up.
Hell no.
Chop Robinson would also be.
How about we trade back with the Raiders?
Hey, Trey
now?
Benson's available. That running back, Trey Benson's available.
Ain't nobody picking a damn running
Not this
back,
early.
Pickle.
No, and to keep it real, Braylon Allen is a really good running. You heard the specs about Braylon Allen, bro? That guy's huge.
Yeah, that
254.
He fixed a power run game, and we don't do power run, so what's the deal with it?
But we need somebody on 4th and 3rd and 1.
Well, we
middle
need
zone.
a lot of things. We absolutely.
I wouldn't say get him now. I would say get him in like the 4th round though.
Yeah, I'm just saying it sounds good for a mock.
All right.
It does. It sounds good for
All right, man.
In
Look,
reality,
Troy Franklin going
We
once.
need it. Is all I'm
Yes,
saying.
sir.
We just need it.
Troy Franklin
Yeah,
going
Cody, I'll vote
twice.
Troy.
Troy Franklin. The
Hey, that Penix would light a fire under Bryce ass though. But yeah, Troy. My vote is Troy.
All right, we're moving. Our next
Hey,
pick is at
Do they just have the
101.
Jags
We-
take
we
Troy
got us
Benson?
at that.
Bruh.
No, our next pick is at 65. So we're almost there.
Bet you Peyton Wilson's going to be here too.
Y'all want to move back to 73 and get another? Nah, that doesn't do nothing for this mock draft. All right.
Or wait, no, he's not.
So,
Or, no,
corner. Let's see what corners
Jonathan
are
Brooks would
available.
be a good pick right here.
What corner? Hey, I'm gonna be real. I'm voting for DJ
Renardo
James.
Green. Renardo Green is a second rounder. He is actually really freaking good from Florida State. Renardo Green.
Ricardo Montalban?
What does he do?
He's an outside guy. He was really good last year. I've seen
Outside
a lot of
linebacker
good
or a
stuff on him.
corner?
He's
Hey,
a
I don't know who
quarterback.
that is, but we really need a cornerback. So if
Yeah,
you
good.
really want to
He
put your
was
vote
the-
on him,
He was like the second best corner left on
Look.
or no. He's just under DJ James. He is I would say he's better than DJ James. I would say he's the best
what
corner
about Kalen
available.
Carson? He was good though. Oh, he's short. Oh, I
I
can't.
What
think
about that
Renardo Green
DN?
is
What about
better
that
than
DN
the other
for that
guys.
outside linebacker for
No, we need
Alabama?
corner. We need corner. right
Braswell?
here.
We brought Carson in for a visit too from Wake
My-
Forest.
DJ
Yeah,
James
that's what
to
I'm saying.
me.
Carson, man.
DJ James to me has the better physicality to his game.
I feel like Carson kind of fell in our laps right here. That's kind of
He did, but I won't Ben Sinnott, which is kind of odd. But he's ranked at
I wouldn't
60, and we're
mind.
picking
I
at
was actually-
Oh, we can get
65.
Ben
So I do
later.
like Ben Sinnott.
Until
he's
Renardo
short
Green.
too, though. I'm tripping.
You prefer Benson not, dude?
Benson not falling in this chat way farther than this, bro.
But are we
Just
really
be-
not
just
gonna
because
go
the-
corner? Yeah.
Hold on,
They got
hold
him
on.
ranked at 60.
Hey, yeah, they got him rated higher than Sanders. That's not even real. That's not even real. at
Sanders
all.
is left? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I
get
would maybe go
Sanders.
Sanders instead of
No, not
Sinnott,
maybe.
actually.
You gotta definitely go Sanders.
Now y'all
I
would
don't
do
know how
this
they got
over
him rated
drafting.
this far
Now
back.
y'all would do this over drafting a corner.
Yes.
Keep in mind.
I would.
Hold
I
up,
mean,
y'all.
you're going
Hold
all out,
hold
giving
up.
Bryce
Hold
everything.
up. Keep in mind, right now, if you don't take a corner right now, you're going to be left with the best of the rest.
Have we
In my
drafted
mind,
an O
in my
lineman
mind,
yet?
you have to come away with either Caleb Carson or DJ James.
Yeah, we got the
Hey,
center.
Cody, have we drafted an O lineman yet?
Yeah, we
Yeah, the
drafted.
first pick was a center.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
our
Yeah,
first
I missed the
pick
first
was
pick.
the
Yeah,
Graham Barton.
Graham Barton, the center from
I don't
Duke.
think I was here for that yet.
No, not yet. So, who would y'all prefer to draft right here, man? Ben Sinnott, or would y'all rather draft a corner?
Sanders.
No, you're right, Cody.
Sanders.
Yeah, just wait. Just wait. Just take Carlson here or Carson here, like you said, and then we'll probably get Sanders later if he's rated at 83 on this site.
No,
Yeah,
who would-
he's
who would y'all
rated that, but
prefer?
that's crazy, dude.
Would
Like,
y'all
I
prefer
would take
DJ
James
James
or
or
Green over.
Kalen Carson?
I'd take James or Green over Carson.
I listen. I James is a little shorter, but short corners
they're
don't
both
bother
short
me.
though. So is Carson, man.
Well, let me
I
finish,
don't
bro.
want Carson.
I
You
said,
know
I
what?
said he's a
We're
little
not gonna.
short.
Hold
but
on. Go Pickle. I want to go after.
Go ahead, Pick.
James, I like James, even if he is a little short. Don't bother me. That's all I want to say.
All right.
My vote's Sanders above everything. I'll let y'all do your thing.
Go ahead, JJ.
We're not gonna fix every hole, so I think if we're not gonna fix a hole, it might as well be corner, because we still got to see if JC can even stay healthy before we really like. That's why I don't think we signed Gilmore, because it's like even if we sign Gilmore, it's because we want to pair him with JC, and we gotta make sure JC can even stay on the field first.
Yeah.
So. No, I think they're just like willing to live or die with the secondary and JC. So I think we go with Sanders. I think we think we should just go with another piece on offense.
Sanders,
That's two for Sanders.
Yeah, I don't
tight
think
end.
we're gonna.
Oh,
yeah,
the
I think
tight
we're
end,
willing
yeah.
to live and die with JC being our guy in the secondary.
You can
So
make
y'all
that
would-
3 for Sanders, because I
Alright,
think Sanders he's a second rounder, and I don't know what they're doing ranking him as the 8th or 3rd.
Now
best
I do
player.
want to.
He's not
I
the
do
8th or
want
3rd
to
best
let
player.
y'all know. I do want to let y'all know. I always post the results to Twitter and ask people how we do. Right. Last time we didn't take a corner, and man, they let us hear about it. They were
Well,
like,
they
"How
can
could you
they
not
can,
take a corner?"
Well,
So it's
well,
up-
I'd say
it's up to
take
y'all. Hey,
James.
this is-
Take the James or the other guy in the next round.
Hey man, this is y'all's mock draft. I'm gonna let y'all do whatever
I
y'all
mean, like
want.
spending premium picks on short corners. I mean, like you might as well
I hear you.
wait a year till you could get a guy in the top 15 or whatever who's looking like a real premium number 1 corner, rather than taking a chance right now when we don't know our development system yet.
All right. So are y'all
Especially when he's
drafting-
short. He's
Are
short
y'all
as hell.
drafting Jatavion Sanders?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Hey, hang on, real quick. Alex, you still there?
I am. Yeah, I'm just about to leave.
Yeah,
work,
no, I
but-
know. I see that you have to get out of here, man. Dude, we so appreciate you being on the show. I know it's 2 a.m. over there. I appreciate your kind words from my aunt, man. You're a big time fan, and we appreciate you, man. Give us your final words before you jump out of here, dude.
I hadn't really thought of anything, to be fair.
That's
yeah.
fine. Just speak your mind, man. Whatever you want to say.
No, I'm just I'm really pleased that I've had this opportunity to join you tonight. It's been an experience. I'll be here same time next week as always. When I finish work, it's always the first thing I do is look forward to joining you on the free for all. So I'll see you again next week, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. Alex, we appreciate you. Get some rest, brother. We appreciate that dedication. And keep pounding, man.
Keep pounding, mate. Keep pounding. Good night,
Yes.
all.
Hell
Keep
yeah,
pounding. Good night, man. Have a great one.
Damn,
All right,
it's 2
boys.
a.m. over
Yeah, man, he's over in the UK. It's 2 a.m. That's a real C3 fan right there, brother.
Yeah,
all right, we're going Jatavion Sanders at 65.
No hesitation.
No hesitation. Jatavion
That's my
Sanders
vote.
once, twice. So
Sanders is the closest thing to Greg Olsen that we'll get.
all right.
Oh, damn, there goes Bernardo Green. Damn.
That's a very bold statement.
Yeah, Sanders is really good. I mean, the fact that the site had him rated at 83 is really ridiculous, to be honest. I mean, he's the second best tight end in this draft behind Brock Bowers, according to a lot of people that know more about football than I do, Cody. So it's not a bad pick, but it's not going to be scored well in this simulator.
True. All right, the Giants want us to move to 107 in return for pick 101.
We gotta throw the draft scoring out the window because no one knows how any of them are going to perform, and there's just no reason to even. I mean, I guess it's cool to be like, oh, look, I got all A pluses, but let's be honest. I know how I program. I know roughly how some of these things are programmed. They don't know what they're doing. They're just guessing. No one's God. No one has an idea of who's going to work out, who's not going to work out. So take the grades and just throw them out the window. Doesn't matter.
True. Do y'all want to trade back, or do y'all want to stay where we are? We can move back.
I would maybe actually take this because you move back 6 spots, and there's still going to be some solid players there, but you also get 166. So you get another. You basically move back from 101 6 spots, but you move up from 240 almost 100 spots.
Sorry, Deez, I wasn't attacking you, by the way.
We're doing it. Y'all want to move back one more time?
Nah,
yeah, I'm fine with moving back.
Decline that one.
Y'all want to do it or no? We'll move back to 112.
Actually,
just go ahead and click yeah.
Y'all want to see this on the board, or y'all want to see this on the board, or what y'all want to do?
No, just click on it.
Tavondre Sweat's still on the board.
Yeah, just click it.
And there he goes. Oh, wait, never mind.
That might have been a mistake. Sweat's still
there.
No,
he's still there. Even though Tavondre Sweat is a drunk driver.
Yeah, we just gave the fucking Falcons barely on Allen. Good job.
Hey, y'all, so Tavondre Sweat?
Yeah, you got it.
Now, do y'all want to look at corner? I mean, there's not a whole. Oh, Kyrie Jackson. Oh, that's my vote. We have to come away with a corner, man. I mean, what would y'all about to do? It's up to y'all. It's up to y'all.
You could use some of the picks that we got and trade back up with it to get a pick that's short.
There's another
R1.
I do want to ask this.
This trade's sort of finicky on this website, though. But we'll do whatever y'all want to do, man.
No, we can make it work, okay. You got to cheat, but you make it work.
Look at our
Has anyone ever? Can I ask this question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Has anyone ever in the history? I mean, I don't even know if this is possible. So I'm just asking.
Just a sec, Pickle.
Go ahead.
Have you ever seen a team draft someone and then trade the following or the third year in? That's not a thing, right? No one does that. No one's done that.
When they draft a guy and they trade him a couple years later or a year later, yeah, that happens frequently in the NFL.
A year later?
I was about to say that happened.
Yes.
Yeah, even after 1 year, that's happened a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, Austin Corbett.
We might do it to
might have missed
Jonathan
it
Mingo.
earlier. Austin Corbett was drafted by the Browns in 2018, and he was a left tackle. He was a left tackle. He was a left tackle in college. The Browns drafted him to play inside with the 33rd pick in the 2018 draft. 1 year later, exactly 1 year later, they trade him to the Rams for a 5th pick in 2020 draft.
Wow.
They spent a first on him?
Yeah, it was almost. It was the 33rd pick.
Oh, damn.
And they tried him at both guard positions and ended up leaving him at center for most of his rookie year, but he actually got to start at guard for a few games because of injuries, and they didn't like at all what they seen from him. So they traded him, and then he goes to the Rams and ends up in the Super Bowl as a starting guard. And the rest, let's say, is history.
The Super Bowl champion guard.
Right.
Fair enough.
You said.
Well, what do you guys want to make a move here?
I would honestly
No,
say
I mean,
keep 112 and then use some of our picks that we just accumulated because we got like 4 or 5 picks after 141.
yeah.
Use
You
it
you
and
could
trade up to
propose
like
it. Yeah, you could propose a trade and then trade with the Ravens, and you could use a few next year's trades too. It'll do good for your mock, but it won't affect next year because next year when we go on this site to do this mock, they ain't gonna remember what we got next year.
True.
So
Y'all.
All right,
I'll
I'm
defer
back,
to you
y'all.
guys.
Did y'all decide what you
yeah,
want to do?
hit propose trade button, Cody. Back.
I would maybe try it with the Jags just because they got two
Well,
picks like
you
almost back to
can,
back.
but then you're going to take the risk of one of them guys you want going before you get there.
I mean, the thing is though, there's only one pick. If you trade, let's say we trade for 114, there's only one pick in between 112 and 114. So then 112, we get a guy, they pick one guy, and then we pick again. Just so then it's not like it might be harder to get back to back picks, even though it's not like super high value.
I just traded everything from next year just to go ahead and get Sweat, and then trade up to the next pick, and then get that
All right,
cornerback and just be done with it.
Right now we're doing damn good, y'all. So, what position do you want to, or what team you want to try and trade with? I know Evan said Jacksonville.
Don't we got a bunch of late picks already though? With that one bid, that one trade we
that's
shit the
what I'm
bed with?
saying. We just did a bunch of trading. They want to move up or down?
Yeah.
Like, we just traded down though. We went from 107 to 112.
That's why this is a good opportunity to trade up then, so we have two picks that are really close. Because in this situation, if you're a GM, you're like, oh, we just got a bunch of picks. We've got multiple players that we're very interested in here. We can package some of those picks, stay with our current pick, but then also get a pick that might be right after our pick or just like a couple picks after our pick. And then we could still possibly get both of our guys that we want.
Boom.
So we want Devondre Sweat and we want
Kyrie Jackson. Because didn't you mention he was still on the board?
Yeah. Devondre Sweat and Kyrie Jackson are on the board.
I would do it just because those are both very good players.
All right, so what team?
It's got to be the Ravens, Jacksonville, or the Niners because those are the closest picks. I would say Jacksonville.
Let's say Jacksonville. They're only the two behind us. But you don't want to give up 112.
No.
No, 141.
Give up.
Everything next year, just cheat.
No, don't give up 112. 112 would defeat the purpose you're trading.
Yeah.
Right. 141.
And then try like a combination of 166 and like 223 or 228.
Give up some of them. Give up some of them 25 picks, 25 picks. We're not out for realization. We're out for the best draft.
Fifth.
Go ahead, give them the fourth too. It won't matter.
Or maybe just give them the fourth. Give them just the fourth.
All right, 141. All right, 141. 2025 fourth round pick. And what do we want from them?
It's their whole team.
114.
114.
Yes.
They're probably going to over.
Yeah, all right.
GM and Devondre Sweat.
You know how funny it would be to expose some of the software bugs and just completely break the trade?
Yes, it would.
All right, so we drafted Devondre Sweat right here, right?
Right.
Now, they have Dwayne Carter ranked higher than him, but who cares?
I think that's probably mostly just because he had that DWI. Devondre Sweat's definitely higher than Dwayne Carter. It's just that he got that Sweat got that DWI.
And he doesn't have as high of a RAS score. But
yeah, Tepper got excited about the draft and he threw some drinks on this guy and then he got busted for a DUI. That's all that happened. Everything's okay.
Yeah. All right. Tavondre Sweat. All right, now grabbing the corner.
Is there any corners left?
Kyrie
Yeah,
Jackson.
go-
I mean,
yeah, get your
Andre
Kyrie.
Phillips is good, but I would take Kyrie Jackson. Ooh, Jaren Jones. too.
Yeah, dude. Between
Let's get
5'10",
Kyrie Jackson.
between 5'10" and 6'3". Yeah,
he's
I'm taking the
6'3".
6'3".
Yeah.
How tall is Jaren
Kyrie
Jones?
Jackson.
Kyrie.
Come on
How
down.
Yeah.
players from Oregon did we draft?
Huh?
Yeah, this is why I say the cornerbacks are deeper than people think. Jaren Jones is a very good player as well.
Need a running back now, man. Need a running back.
Will Shipley's already gone. No.
Is he for real?
Yeah, I saw him go in like the 3rd round.
Oh,
Luke McCaffrey.
Jalen Wright. Isn't he
Jalen
super
Wright.
fast too?
it's
Yes.
that boy, White Chocolate Espresso. What's up, dude?
What's up, bro?
What's
Can you
up?
hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Loud and clear. All right, what do you want to do right here, man?
I want to take Jalen Wright, running
Is
back.
he big or you say he's a fast guy? I don't know if we need a fast guy though. I say we need a bigger running back.
Jaren Jones.
The people they're looking at to fit
Jaren
this team
Jones.
are the fast, maneuverable type. I understand. I listen. I'm an old-fashioned power guy myself. I understand the need for a power back. I really do. Okay, I would love to have. Personally speaking, I would have spent a lot of our free agent money on Derrick Henry just because I like his power back ability. But in reality, for this team, they're not interested in a power back.
What have we
I would
drafted
say
so far?
Jalen Wright because
I might
we
be-
need an explosive player, and he's a home run hitter.
Right.
So, Kev, so far, Graham Burton, the center out of Duke, Troy Franklin, wide receiver, Jatavion Sanders, tight end, Texas, Tavondre Sweat, defensive tackle, Texas, Kyrie Jackson, cornerback, Oregon. And right now, we're in a position to pretty much take best player available, man.
Look at edge or linebacker.
Let's look at edge. Cedric Johnson.
Xavier
Oh, my man.
Thomas. Dude.
Oh, Xavier
Dude,
Thomas.
He could be a good
No.
rotation guy for the future on any team. I think Thomas was held back by some things in college, but
Tommy Eichenberg still available. Trice
He might be
Knight.
available later though.
Trice Knight,
You're
6
right.
foot. I don't love it. I don't love it.
I would maybe double dip at corner because Jaren Jones is still there.
But Florida State, yeah.
Yeah, he's good as well. He played mostly slot this past year, slot
He has a
cornerback.
good
but,
PFF score too.
Well, click on
but he
him
can
and
play
see.
outside really well as well.
I want to see how tall he is, just because I want to see. Oh, he's 5'11".
5'11".
I mean, that's
All right,
not horrible.
that's
I mean,
doable.
That's
yeah,
a good
that's not
Raz score,
horrible.
though.
That's
He
not
could be
that's
good
not
depth,
the
but
worst
he
I've
also
ever
could
seen.
eventually develop to be a starter.
Right.
Whether it's in the
Reed-
slot or in
DJ
the
Reed is
It
outside.
don't matter.
5'9".
I understand if you select corner, but I would rather have Jalen Wright, the running back. But I understand if you select corner. My pick is Jalen Wright.
Also select Jalen Wright because
Yo, what's up, Raleigh?
these are the late picks, man. You need some value, and a
We
running
got
back
Tyler
is always
Davis.
value.
Jalen Wright can also do return.
What's going on, Cody? Long time.
Oh, shit, hang on.
Can
You
you
having
hear
some
me
lag?
all right?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine, brother. How are you, man?
I'm
Go
having
to
some lag.
Tyler Davis, Cody.
Oh, I know. Tyler Davis is doing big things, man.
Xavier Thomas too, though.
Yeah, I would prefer
that is-
Xavier Thomas if I'm having to decide.
Have y'all picked another defensive
Although
tackle?
Tyler Davis, Evan, you know Tyler, he's a beast, man.
Oh yeah. But my only thing is we probably don't need to double dip. I'd rather
I would
double
think
dip
it's-
at corner if we
I
double
think a
dip
center,
anywhere on
actually.
defense.
Or there, Wisconsin.
We already drafted a center.
Take another one.
Why
We
not?
need two.
No, they don't need another center though. I would
We
say
only
double
we
dip
don't
at
have
corner
one.
or the running back.
We don't even have a center.
Tackles available.
We took
Now,
Corbett's a center, and then we just drafted one. The
Corbett
first
already
pick.
has bad
Go
knees.
back to center. go back to center. I want to look at something real quick. I'm not selecting anybody. I just want to look. Looky there. Lemur's still there.
Bo Limmer
from Arkansas.
Yeah, a lot of people talk that he could be a later round pick, but he could also be one of the better centers in this draft.
It wouldn't surprise me if he goes to the 3rd round or even if he's there in the 5th. It just
now, if y'all want a running back, Isaac Guarendo is a guy that's 6 foot, 221 pounds. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a running
Hey,
back.
Cody.
Like this. Yeah.
When Corbett's legs go out, who's starting at center behind him? The rookie.
We just drafted.
And what happens after? What happens if the Corbett goes down though? Who's going to back him up?
Graham Barton.
We're gonna have.
I never heard of this Isaac dude. I like him though.
Yeah, dude. Corbett.
Rad score perfect.
Unless Graham Barton ends up winning out the center job. Yeah, I don't think
I
we need
say-
to double dip the center here.
What about tackle?
I say go here. I like this. I like this running back right here. I'm gonna keep it.
Isaac Guarendo.
Dude, his
I'd
the
rather go Jalen
9.9 rad score.
I
Do we
mean,
have
right
another
now-
later pick? Can we get him? Oh, we can get him maybe with our 166.
Yeah, so right now we're at 142.
Double dip
There's
with the corner or even the center and use him as a backup guard.
Jalen. Right.
If we were gonna go, who are the guards left? If
I'll
we were
take
gonna go
Jalen
guard,
Jones. To be honest with you.
I'd rather go. I'd rather look at tackles.
9.61.
Yeah, 9.61. That's a nice RAS. 5'11", 190 pounds.
That's better than a guy I had earlier, and he had those.
We need corners, man. We need corners.
Well, that's the
all right,
problem.
y'all
Listen,
vote.
wait, can I say
Y'all
something?
vote. Yeah, go ahead, Chad.
I mean, you guys vote on anything. I'll defer to you guys. I'm totally fine with whatever you want to pick here. But the thing is, we do have to build out depth. There's a lot of things. I mean, we're trying to fix and repair and turn this ship around, and it's finally going in the right direction. But we think. But so some of these we're not going to be able. You can't do it all in one draft. Where it's not going to happen. There's just no way we could do it. So we're trying to just put in the pieces we most need to get us along further than right. So just keep that in mind when we're doing all this.
Yeah, absolutely.
All I'm saying is like Corbett is probably not going to last the whole season, and you're going to need a valuable backup behind the rookie too.
Yeah, we got.
I mean, you have Cade
we
Mays
got,
already.
We got Austin Corbett, the rookie, and Cade Mays.
Yeah, you don't need four
If you want
centers.
if you
don't need four centers.
I mean,
So, what position y'all trying to draft then?
we technically only
I
have
would say
one.
Jerry Jones.
Let's get
We got
Jalen
three
right.
though.
Someone said offensive
Wright.
tackle. The offensive tackle class is not very good when you're picking this late. So there's not a whole lot of.
Dang,
Who are the
uh,
guards left?
What? How you pronounce that? 120, 162. Amini Dangwash. What a name.
162? Oh, you mean
No,
262?
262.
Anam
Dangwa.
Dank. His name is Anam Dankwa.
Dankwa.
That's a pretty dope name. That's a dank name, bro. He has dank in his name. Come on, dude.
What a name.
All right, man. I'm voting. I'm voting Isaac Guarendo, or
I'm going Jones.
I'm going Jalen Wright.
Jerry
I'm
Jones.
going Jones.
Me and
I
me
say
and Pickle
Jones.
want Jalen right.
Jalen Wright.
Jones and then Isaac with the next pick.
Jalen Wright.
I hear 3 for Jones. Do I hear another one for Jalen Wright? Let me bring in my man Rowley. Rowley, would you pick corner Jerry and Jones, or would you pick running back Jalen Wright out of Tennessee?
I think
Rowley.
Wright is probably a little bit better pick as far
All right.
as. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
You
that
can get Isaac with the next pick, and he's bigger.
Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah, that's
No,
all
the
right.
offense.
Yeah,
The offense.
yeah, but you can, but I'd say pick best first.
All right, so best player available would be
Center.
let me see. No, I'm saying between the running back and the corner, it'd be Jerry Jones. So y'all want Jerry and Jones here and try and
Yes,
get
sir.
Gorindo? All right, Jerry and Jones, come on down.
Here's the deal. I'm getting ready to go. Done deal.
He has a good PFF score.
Yep.
But I'd rather get with you.
Like when people,
All
when
right.
people throw against him, it's a low quarterback rating.
Let's see if Isaac Gorindo lasts.
Isaac Gorindo, it says he lacks the desired burst out of cuts, impacting the ability
Jalen
to
Wright is
rapidly
still here.
change directions. Consistent issues in the backfield, pressure navigation, and play execution with structured plays.
Now let's go.
So
let's
look
go
at this.
Jalen Wright
I'm gonna have
now.
to go with Pickle on right here.
So
Right.
look,
I'm taking a
there's
guard.
Jalen Wright.
Wright.
Jalen Wright still available, 5'10",
9.81.
210 pounds. Dude, Isaac Gorindo, but again, he's a late round running back, and he has a 9.9 RAS. What was his 40 time, Pickle?
No, hell no.
Pickle, what was his
We
40
don't want
time?
that fucking Louisville running back.
His 40 time was 4.33.
What?
I'm taking a
220
guard, bro.
I don't
Bro.
want him.
Whoa. 6 foot, 220 pounds, runs a 4.33, and y'all are tripping about some burst?
Yo,
Bro,
Cody,
it's O-line.
don't-
He ain't got
run the ball no matter what.
Cody, don't
Man.
both
Did
our
he say
guards have
4.43?
injury history?
He not like that, man.
Doesn't both our guards have injury history?
I don't know. Do they?
No, they
You
don't.
sure?
Yes.
Robert
I
Hunt
looked at
does
all
not,
that
and
up.
Damian Lewis do not.
Oh,
They do
Damian
not
Lewis
have-
did.
No, they do not.
He
have
didn't
injury.
really.
Bro, am I really the only one voting for Isaac Gorindo here? Like, this dude could be
Yes.
a beast, man.
I'm taking a
Yes.
guard. I'm taking the Michigan
Nah,
guard.
Jalen Wright.
Oh yeah,
My son's crying. I
Jalen
say
Wright.
Isaac Guerrero too.
Jalen Wright.
I'm on Isaac
Jalen-
too with you, Cody.
All right.
Y'all, you know what? Y'all dissed me when Alvin Kamara was on the board, and I proved right.
Yeah.
I'm taking a backup guard.
I mean, Zach. He's not wrong. Zach Zinner is there, and he is really.
What
He is
guards
really
are
good. So
available?
Zach
The-
Zinner is the
The
best
Michigan
one.
guard right there.
Bro, we got a handful of guards, and we got Christensen that's playing backup too, man. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
hell
We got a
no.
handful.
We just gave $90 million to guards this year. What?
And
I
can you
know
go
that's
to Callahan and stay healthy?
We good on guard,
I
bro.
don't think that
How many
really
times have our
counts.
Bro,
offensive
y'all
line got
trying to
hurt?
y'all trying to draft a kicker?
How many times have our offensive line got hurt last year?
I'm not really worried about injury wise with Hunt or Lewis, but
neither
Zach
one.
Zinner would be
If you want to
No.
draft an offensive lineman, you need to
We
draft
gave
an offensive
$150
No.
million to guards,
coach.
actually.
I'm
All
always
right, what
drafting
y'all want to
offensive
do?
linemen.
What y'all want to do? What y'all want to do?
just go down the
We got-
list
I
and
wanna
ask
draft
everybody who
Jalen
they vote
Wright.
for.
Yeah, draft
Yeah,
Jalen
JJ
Wright.
Just
Jalen Wright.
just
All
to
right,
keep
hold
it
on.
civil.
One at a
Cody,
time.
I'm with you.
You with me? All right, that's 3.
I
for
say
Isaac
get a
Gorindo.
running back.
Okay, I agree with Riley. Me and QT0 and Riley, we're on Isaac Gorindo.
Gorindo, me.
Yep. Could we get 4 for another player? Pickle, what say you?
Jalen Wright.
Jalen Wright. Diesel Skills, are you there?
Not me.
Well, I mean, we already got Burton, man. Burton sitting behind Corbett. I don't know why we would go guard here. Get Jalen Wright at halfback. That's another weapon for Bryce Young. Don't be silly.
All right, we got another vote for Jalen Wright. Evan, what say you, man?
Let's go kicker. No, I'm just kidding. Go Jalen Wright.
I mean, you're not wrong though. We do need a kicker. I can't go into next year.
3
with
for
the second
Jalen Wright.
We can wait until later to get a kicker.
I know,
Strats, how did you vote? How you vote on this?
Which one is in the lead right now?
We're tied up. 3 votes for Isaac Gorindo and 3 votes for Jalen Wright.
What did Pickle vote for?
Pickle voted for Jalen.
Do you want a short running back? That's the pretty much same thing as Chuba, or do you need a big guy that wants to?
No. You didn't even know that dude existed until they're talking about it. All you're
Hey, don't be mad at
I
the
wanted
line.
Allen, but that's second to best.
Well, hold
Wright
up.
is nothing like Chuba
So,
Hubbard, bro. He's way better.
JJ, yeah, you voted for Jalen Wright already, right?
Yeah, I want Jalen Wright as well. Yeah, I'd be the fourth person to say Jalen Wright.
Okay, so
do a +2 vote on whatever Cody's vote is.
Definitely
'cause I don't really side with Cody that often.
It's 4 for 4. I believe Kev is the final vote. Kev,
I want Zach
don't say
Zenner.
no. If you have to pick between Jalen Wright and Isaac Guerrero, who are you picking?
I'm picking none.
You're the tiebreaker, motherfucker. Just answer.
I don't know the difference between the two of them.
One of them is 6 foot. I
Isn't it
drafted Guerrero, bro.
Oh my!
Drafted Guerrero. Let's go.
It was 4-3 with votes.
You just drafted a bust, is what you did.
I know
bro,
what
that
drafted
little
is.
Connor
You
2.0.
don't even know who Glendo is.
Yo, Cody.
You just wanted the
who
difference.
Glendo is. Y'all never heard of Glendo in your life till you read his name on his
I
board.
haven't seen Glendo play in real life, and that motherfucker wasn't on shit, bro.
I've watched
he ran
him.
for
He
100
sucks.
yards and a touchdown, and I still wasn't
He
impressed.
just voted for Tennessee. Pickles voting for Tennessee. That's all it is.
Yeah,
He's
Pickle
not
voting for
faster than
Tennessee.
Jalen Wright, bro. Jalen Wright got flash like trees, man.
Joe Milton.
Crazy.
Take Joe Milton.
You wait. Jalen Wright's going to be just like Alvin Kamara. in his
Pickle,
draft.
you're probably all right.
But
You're probably right,
He's
Pickle.
shifty and he can run an inside zone, and we're gonna run the inside zone running stuff.
Yep. Hey, hold up, Panther Pickle. How about we vote? How about
probably
we
are
draft
right.
Joe Milton? And Joe Milton will be
You're
the
so
next
funny.
Joe Milton has a strong arm. But I'll be completely honest, he can't hit
That's
the
Black
ball
Josh
out of a
Allen.
barn if he was standing in front
That's
of it.
Black
Because
Josh
his
Allen.
accuracy's so damn bad.
All right.
No,
I don't
Pickle,
give a
that's
damn
Black
about
Josh
whether
Allen.
you draft Tennessee
What
players or not.
position?
I'm not like half you sons of bitches. I don't give a damn if you draft a Tennessee player or not. I don't really give a good fuck. I look for talent on the board, and that's exactly what I took. And to think anything else, all of y'all can kiss my ass.
And that's why we value your opinion. That's exactly why we value your
Pickle, I
opinion.
think we're gonna be all right with 6 foot, 220 pounds, at 4.33. Bro, that's physical talent, man. Come on
He
now.
ain't tough enough to play football.
Oh, you don't know. You don't have a crystal ball into the future, man. Give these boys an old
Yeah,
line.
4-3-3 running.
A 4-3-3.
And we got a line. And we got a line, Cody.
Because he was tall and fat, and the other drafted him because he had a cool name. That's the only reason why. If y'all watch
No,
him
it's a
on film
4-3-3,
like
Pickle.
JJ did, you would know that's a bad pick.
Well, how fast is Jalen Wright? I mean, it don't matter now. He's off the board.
He's 4'3".
Yeah, he's a speed demon.
Yo, hold on. I remember watching the Tennessee-Georgia game, and on the first play, Jalen Wright took that shit 75 yards to the crib. I was like, yo.
No, he was around the same. He was around the same spot. I thought, if I remember.
He got 4.3 speed for sure, man. He's a blazer. I done seen a few other plays on.
I'm taking
YouTube
Logan
and
Lee
shit,
here.
but
We need somebody that can run some middle.
Yeah, look, we have two more picks left, and then we're probably gonna jump on up out of here.
Y'all gonna be majorly disappointed in real life, y'all.
This isn't gonna. We're not gonna pick this. We have no control over.
Yeah, Pickle, this ain't even the real draft yet, man. We're just trying to draft a 5th round running back, for God's sake.
You're just,
Man.
never mind. It don't matter.
Yeah, let's just move on.
So what position? All right, we're at 223.
Joe Milton, bro. Joe Milton.
This is our final pick. What y'all trying to do with
Pickle
the last
get
pick of the
mad.
draft?
Joe Milton, bro. I'm stomping the table for Joe Milton, bro. I'm kicking it over.
that's Black Josh
Idiot.
Allen. Come
Baby's
on, let's
crying.
go get him.
Idiot.
Are y'all? Is that what y'all trying to do? Draft
I'm taking Logan Lee.
Rotational edge. The heaviest rotational edge.
Draft the long snapper. Draft your long snapper.
What kind of hands does?
Who?
We need
Raleigh,
a
what's
tight end that's got hands. I don't know what Holker's Dalen Holker.
We drafted a tight end a few picks ago.
We drafted
Dalen Holker.
Yeah, we drafted
Davian
the
Sanders
second best
got
tight
him,
end in
bro.
the draft
We
a few
did.
picks ago.
We got tight end. Okay, I missed that.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
I just think a run stopping end right here. A really heavy run stopping end.
And so let's see on defense. Let's look at the edge. Miles Cole.
yeah, the edge. Like
Anybody.
if we got another edge to train.
278 off-ball linebacker.
We got DJ Johnson though.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
this is a flyer.
Miles Cole. This
Yeah,
would be
great big guy.
Angelo, the legend in the chat. Brother, I agree with you. I agree with you.
What do you say?
He said,
Jalen Wright is the best running back in the draft. Of course,
that's a
Pickle
little
found
far.
that one.
Yeah, Logan Lee. I heard he was pretty good. I mean, considering.
If I'm choosing, I'm probably choosing Miles Cole right here.
I mean, at this point, these picks are just like they don't.
Yeah,
matter
who
as
cares?
much. So it's like,
yeah.
Just take Miles. Just take Miles.
Yeah, it's just a flyer. Go for it. Maybe he can stop
He
the
might not
run.
even
That's
make the
I mean,
roster.
exactly.
All right. Miles Cole, you are the final pick for the Carolina Panthers.
We got 223 still.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Kicker.
You're right. We do have
Kicker.
one more.
Honestly, at this point, if this is our last pick, I would maybe take kicker here.
Yeah, I like that too. Let's get a kicker that can make one from 60 yards, Cody. A guy that's got some range on him.
How'd you pass on Joe Milton, bro, when we have two quarterbacks, man, and one's about to retire?
Let's get that guy from
They want a
the
veteran
Michigan
quarterback.
Panthers in the UFL. They got
Drake
he
Newton.
made a 65 and a 62.
From
Drake
who?
Newton.
What guy are you saying, D's?
Go back to Drake Newton.
They got next year to take in if our quarterback does bad anyways.
I was talking about that kicker from the Michigan Panthers on the UFL. That guy made a 62 and a 65 game winner. He's doing great.
Go to Drake
I
Newton.
know.
You just have to
Nugget.
He's not on here.
Drake
I do like Nugent.
Great Nugget right here. 224.
Eddie scares me at kicker though.
He didn't allow a sack all year.
We already have a center there.
Yeah.
He's 6'1".
He's a center. He's good.
69.
All right, y'all want to draft another center?
What his rad score ain't but 6.96.
He didn't allow a sack all year.
Well, that might he maybe.
I mean,
lucky.
their entire O line is really good.
I mean,
so.
And at 300 pounds, he is undersized.
Okay, well, he's going to be on the practice
Plus,
squad.
we already
anyway.
got a center.
Here's the thing about that.
He's going to be on the practice squad anyway, so it don't matter.
I get what you're saying about the size and the height and the speed and stuff like that, but we have to remember we had one of the great. And granted, it is a different position, but we did have one of the greats, and Steve Smith was like 5'9", 5'10", right? So we can't put a whole lot. I mean, it's helpful, but we can't put a whole lot of stock into the numbers of what they weigh and how tall they are, or whatever it is.
Okay. So y'all voting for Drake Nugent?
You want an offensive line to go lower too. The lower you get,
the better leverage underneath. All right, is that what y'all want to do? Draft Drake Nugent at center right here. Get another back
for kicker.
Definitely Nugent.
I'd take AJ Barner, the tight end from Michigan.
If we drafted a kicker, who would we draft?
Playing from Michigan in the division, yeah, I say yeah.
Do we know any of these kickers? Cam Little,
Riker,
Joshua.
your Alabama guy.
I'd draft out like they were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that Will Riker's pretty good.
You want to draft him right here? What would y'all rather draft, the center or a kicker right here?
I mean,
Well,
Well, we already have
we
two.
got center.
Yeah.
Let's look at this logically. How many centers are we going to keep on the 53-man roster?
Two, probably.
Okay,
Probably
how many do we
two,
currently have?
It doesn't really matter. I mean, at this point,
Well, it does matter if you're selecting this.
I
mean, if you're selecting him just to go on the practice squad, if he clears waivers, that's fine.
3.
No, I'd rather go for another position if that's the case. Because you did say yesterday was it yesterday or 2 days ago, Pickle? You were saying that the center we currently would utilize is someone that's never really played it before. So then
I'd say go.
Exactly. So I mean, if the kicker here, like the guy from Alabama, Will Riker, if you draft him, then he will likely push Eddie Pinero for the job.
Yep. I don't mind drafting the kicker right here.
This
I
could
don't
be a
mind
day one
drafting the
starter.
kicker.
The center you select in reality is going to start off the year as a third string center.
All right, Pickle.
More
You
than
go
likely-
ahead, kicker or center?
I'm going kicker.
Will Record?
Yeah.
All right, D's, you going kicker or center?
Kicker. I don't feel good about Eddie. Eddie's lost us games, bro.
All right, I hear that. Evan, you center or kicker?
Kicker.
Kicker.
Alabama
right,
kicker.
3 for kicker. QT0, you there, brother? All right, we'll go back to QT. Strats, what say you, man? Kicker or center?
Well, you know this. I've been saying how long I've been saying we probably should get a new kicker. I'll go kicker. And by the way, I wasn't trying to naysay your point of like the weight and height and stuff. It is important. It is a factor. I think it should be weighted different.
No, absolutely. No, you're not wrong.
No pun intended.
Yeah, right. JJ, kicker or center?
Let's go with a kicker.
All right. That's overwhelming. The final pick of the 2024 Panthers draft is Will
Lame.
Record, kicker from Alabama.
Yay!
This was
All right, boys. This
pretty
is
good
what our
draft.
draft looks like.
Do you know what the longest field goal he's made in a game is? By the way, I don't. I'm not. This
55.
isn't a trick question. I don't know. Oh, 55. Okay. Oh shit. He's right in line with what we have.
They never.
I'd
in
say go
college,
like a
they don't
Steve
normally,
Smith and try and pick up a receiver.
What, in the last spot?
All right, Panther fans. This is the sixth Friday free for all mock draft. Graham Barton at 33, Troy Franklin at 39, Jatavion Sanders at tight end at 65, Tavondre.
I'd say in the last spot, Cody. I meant
defensive
like
tackle.
Steve Smith. Steve Smith went. He was in the last round.
Yeah.
Round 3, 74, I believe. So,
Tavondre Sweat, 112. Kyrie Jackson, 114. Jerrion Jones, 142. Isaac Guarendo, 166. Miles Cole, 208. And Will Record, kicker from Alabama, at 223. How y'all think we did, man? What y'all think of this mock draft?
I think it was pretty good. I think we did a good job at addressing a lot of needs.
I think you sold with the Gringo pick, no lie.
oh, instead of right. Yeah.
I agree with you, JJ.
I think I said this the other night.
I mean, we don't know.
We bet on upside. It's all right.
Pacheco was good for the Chiefs, right? So maybe Guarendo will be successful in the NFL. It's possible.
I want to give a shout out to UDs and Pickle.
I would have picked up
JJ, a whole
another
bunch of you
receiver.
the spaces, I was going to say. I just wanted to give a shout out to that and point out that you guys have been doing a lot of mock drafts too, and a lot of them have overlapping stuff that we see here tonight. And ultimately, we won't. But the point I made the other night when we were doing the most recent mock draft and the spaces on Twitter was or X now, is that we won't know. We won't know until like a few weeks into the season. We're just not going to know. So we just have to hope that it turns out well and hope that and put our trust in Dan. But I think you guys did a solid job tonight. So applause all around.
Help us, Dan. Please save us.
Appreciate you, man. Evan, what say you, man? How do you judge this draft?
I say we should have got another receiver.
Well, it's over now. You bitch about it.
All right, so Raleigh says another receiver. Appreciate you, Raleigh.
Nah, we got plenty of receivers.
Evan, what say you, man?
Yeah, I mean, I would say we did a pretty good job. I mean, the fact of getting Jatavian Sanders, I don't think he's going to be there at 65. I mean, this mock draft simulator just had him rated later. And then getting Sweat in the 4th, as well as getting Kyrie Jackson and Jarian Jones. I mean, you add depth to your cornerback room and possible future starters. And then, I mean, I personally was also on the Jalen Wright side, but I mean, they're a late round pick. They might not even end up being a starting running back for us anyways. So, but yeah, and then the last 2 picks aren't as big of a deal to me, but I don't mind getting a new kicker because we definitely do need a new kicker and somebody that could be our kicker in the long run. And I definitely think Will Reichert is he's a guy that I feel like is in between accurate or he's good at both being accurate and he has a good enough leg, because I think his long in college is like 55, but I would have to go back and look at that. But I feel like maybe he could hit a 60-yarder if you really needed him to, because at Alabama I don't think they really were ever.
How long was he at Alabama?
He was at Alabama for like 3 or 4 years. I think it was 3 years. He was the starting kicker.
Cody, can you guys do a whole episode, maybe not a whole episode, but at least part of an episode where
Yeah, but look at their
you kind
line.
of deep dive into kickers?
Say it one more time. Hold on. Say it one more time, Strats, that last part.
Where you do a little bit of a deep dive into some of the kickers and maybe what in the free agency and in the draft, and you could even bring up like the career longs of people and kind of look back on, because I think we all have an idea of the kicker we have now missing like some main shots that he should have probably made, but for the most part he's been fairly consistent. But it's just like when you need that one game winner, I've not seen him really hit it, but I could be wrong. So maybe like a deep dive episode into maybe not a whole 2 hours on it, but 45 minutes or so on the kicker.
Hey Cody, if I could say myself, this is a great draft. That's I just had to give you props on that. I feel like this is a great communicative draft.
Elaborate, QT.
Like
what do you think makes it? What do you think makes it so great, QT? What's your
I just gotta give the props when it's due.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
And there's things I disagreed on and I would have done differently, but I feel like we got all the things that we needed. The players.
That was the most adorable sneeze I've ever heard.
What do you mean? Excuse? Only thing I would have changed up different is I would have got Braley on Allen instead of probably that cornerback in the trade.
No, he heard your son sneeze.
But we still got a big running back, so I'm happy.
It's adorable. I don't know if QT can hear me. Can you hear me, QT?
No, he can't. He hasn't heard you all night. QT.
Yeah,
that's not
true.
that's not what he said. He said that when he heard your son sneeze, he said that's the most adorable sneeze he's ever.
I heard excuse. I know he's already falling asleep on me right now.
Hey, QT, can you hear me, bro?
You got a little 4 month here.
No, he hasn't heard you all night, Cody.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Cody, if you ever get a chance.
No, he hasn't heard you, Cody.
That Miles Cole on at 208 we drafted.
Yeah, Texas Tech.
Don't look up his bio.
Why?
Don't look up his bio because he's like 280 pounds.
Yeah, that's what I looked at. He's like 6'6".
Exactly. Hell of a draft. I don't know who that was. Hell of a draft.
He a run stopper. Pickle,
but
he's a
the
run
point is
stopper.
that he's a run stopper,
his
and
senior
that he plays
year,
on the edge.
yeah, his senior year in 2022, he
You
played in
put
12
him
games.
on.
He took
Yeah,
part
you put
in
him on when
250
somebody's trying to run in the end
snaps.
zone.
For the Raiders, he also only had 8 tackles. He had 4 assists. He had 6 stops. As a pass rusher, he had 3 total pressures, which included 2 quarterback hurries, 1 quarterback hit, and no sacks. That was in 22, his
All
senior
right.
year.
Oh,
But
look
like
at
I said, it's
QT.
just a mock, and all I was suggesting is don't look the bio.
No, I hear you. Hey man, listen, this has been another edition of the C3 Friday Free for All, man. I appreciate each and every one
You're
of y'all.
muted, Cody.
Can y'all not hear me at all?
No, he ain't. I can hear
No, I can hear.
We
It's
can hear
just
you.
you two.
We've
It's
had
just you two. You
problems
guys can't hear
keeping
each other or
people out of
something.
the end
Hey,
zone.
yeah, y'all
Oh.
tell QT that he can't hear me. Tell him to come in and
Yeah,
come out.
QT, you can't hear Cody. Everybody else can.
Tell him to
Okay,
come
all
in
right.
and come out.
Try coming out, try leaving and coming back in, and you'll probably hear him. That happens a lot.
That's never happened to me on the Friday Free Flow.
It's happened to Tony before on the Tuesday
Right.
show. So I don't know if it's a StreamYard thing. I don't really know.
It's a programmer thing. I can tell you, it's people that don't know. It doesn't matter. It's not your guys'
No,
fault.
you're
It's,
definitely right.
That's so funny. Strats can fix it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it happens on Spaces a lot.
Hey, QT, can you hear me? QT.
I can hear you now. I can hear you
hear
now.
me
I was
now?
putting my son down.
Cute.
All right, we appreciate you, man. All right, QT, we appreciate having you, man. Give me your final thoughts for the Friday Free for All before we jump on out of here, man.
Just great draft. I'm very happy we could we got Sweat in the later rounds to take the place of lame ass Shy Tuttle. And I'm glad he wouldn't have to play no.
Yes, sir. All right, man. We appreciate you, brother. Thanks for joining the show once again. Let me go to my man Raleigh Lee joining the free for all again. Raleigh, give me your final thoughts for the show tonight, man. You with me? Hey, you're muted, Raleigh. Nah, I won't let me mute. All right, Raleigh, we're gonna have to come back to you, man. Yeah, it won't let me go to Raleigh. So we'll go to my man Josh JJ. JJ, what up, dude? Give me your final thoughts for the show tonight, man.
You know what? I think we did an all right job in the draft. Glad we got Sweat. You already know how I'm trying to get them trenches right. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I think we did good in the draft. I done popped in late in this Friday free for all. I don't know what y'all was talking about in the first half, but I popped in during the draft. I think we did a good draft. I would have picked Wright instead of Gringo, that's for sure. You talk about upside, Cody. That kid, Jalen Wright, got some real upside, man. He's got blazing speed. He's shifty. He's really athletic for the running back position and can be versatile because he can catch. It's not like he got stone hands like Chuba. You know, I get a lot of people want a more physical and balanced back, but I just think his upside as a running back is how Xavier Worthy, people view Xavier Worthy's upside as wide receiver. They think, just blazing speed. He could be so special with the speed out in space or whatever. Yeah, that's Jalen Wright as the running back or whatever. But even better in my opinion, because I don't think that much of Xavier Worthy. But yeah, that's just my opinion on that situation. That was the biggest thing that I had an opinion on. I think I hope everyone has a great weekend though. We all gonna keep pounding.
Keep pounding, JJ. We appreciate you, man. Great stuff for the show. Yeah, man. Hey, we're gonna see, man. Pickle got pissed that we took Guarendo over Wright. A lot of people did. I like that physicality though, man, of Guarendo being 6 foot, 220, can run a 4.3. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Good stuff, JJ.
I think we did a good job tonight, though. So I think we're moving in the right direction. Next up, my man C3 Evans Sports Talk. You've been great on the show as usual, bro. Great draft. Thanks for helping us out. Give me your final thoughts for the show tonight, man.
Yeah, I mean, I love this draft. I personally, I know we need center, but I personally would have gone best player available at 33 and gone Johnny Newton. Because, I mean, I do think the Sweat pick actually does make up for that because he is the only reason he's going to fall in the draft is because of his DWI, but he is still a solid pick and he's a space eater. So I like it overall. I mean, I agree that we probably should have taken Jalen Wright over Garendo, but I'm not too upset about it. I mean, overall, I think this draft was really good. I mean, if this was the draft that actually happened, I mean, this draft would be like an A-. I mean, I can't go A or A+ just because that's almost like saying it's a perfect draft. But really, you can't say something's perfect. And like Stratz has made a point of, you can't really tell if these players are going to work out until we see them on the field. So, but I would give this draft like a B+ and A- though.
All right, that's a good grade, dude. A B+, A-. I'm into that. And I think that we're getting better and better at this draft thing, man. At learning the value and picking the best players available compared to what we need. I think we're doing good. Let me see if I can go back to Raleigh. Let's try this one more time. Raleigh, you there with me, brother? No, Raleigh's still having problems. Appreciate you, Raleigh. Sorry, we tried, man. Your camera's freezing out on you. Next up, I'm going to go to my brother, Mr. Stratz. Stratz, always happy to have you on the show, man. Give me your final thoughts for the show this afternoon, dude.
Always happy to be a part of the group camaraderie. And thank you for having me and everything. And yeah, I mean, like we really won't know till the end when it all plays out, but I'll keep it short and sweet. I appreciate the time I get to spend with all of you, and including chat here, and there's a lot of great minds and a lot of unique positions and things that make me think beyond where I currently think. So that I always appreciate that kind of getting to see different perspectives, and a lot of the time those perspectives change my perspective. So I appreciate all of that from all of you guys. And gals.
Man. Absolutely. Hey, we love to facilitate the discussion so that everyone can be heard and that everyone can maybe listen to a viewpoint that they didn't consider before, man. So what, JJ? Oh, appreciate you, dog.
Yeah, man. I just not realized you was wearing it. Well, no, I think I saw it earlier, but I was like, damn.
Bro, I was having a wild hair day too, bro. So I was like, man, let me just put the beanie.
Hey, I want to hear what the Twitter people got to say about this one, you know, because we got two corner, and I think they're both pretty decent, you know, and still solidified all these holes in this fucking Swiss cheese we got.
I already have one comment. I put it up on Twitter. 4 likes so far. My man Salesman says, wish it was the real draft. Oh, shit. I think
trying to say, you feel me?
I think we're doing something right, boys. Anthony said, nailed it. Somebody said no to Franklin. But, bro, I think we're doing damn good, man.
Yeah.
I think the Xavier is just the people's choice, you know, but Troy Franklin is really what we need because it's the person that's going to get open on the short routes, the intermediate shit. You know, and that's what we need. That's what we need.
And he's a different type of receiver than what we've been working with. So I like that pick. I like Troy Franklin.
I think either one can work, admittedly.
Yeah,
I mean,
and to be honest, I feel like
short routes, so and he can do a lot. Like that's the thing. He can develop to be a do-it-all guy. I mean, he can already do a lot, but he can continue to develop his route tree.
I just feel like Xavier Legette has all the same skill tree is Mingo. That's really my thing as well.
I hate it when people say that now because I don't think that's true.
I believe in Mingo a lot. I have a lot of belief in Mingo. He just hasn't developed yet. That's all. He hasn't even had the time, you know? He hasn't gotten the ball enough.
If Bryce Young gets credit for having a bad rookie season, if we have to give him some leeway, inevitably to not be hypocrites, we have to do the same thing to Jonathan Mingo.
But what it comes down to is the line, though. It came down to the time to throw. That's what it came before that, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Nah.
So now you after this year, you could say all that in a bag of chips if that's to happen because he's going to have the time, or you know, supposedly if this line works out, you know.
Hell yeah! All right, man. Let me move it right along here. Next up, he's probably going to tell you to shut the hell up at some point in your time viewing the C3 Panthers podcast. It's Panther Pickle. Pickle, give me your final thoughts for the show.
It's a very good show. I told you to shut the hell up a while ago. So I got one in today.
Yeah.
And,
I don't ever take it personal.
Hell yeah, it was a good show.
Good. That's good. That's good. Sometimes I mean it personal, but never against you. And
I know
if I do, I
only against me. Only against me, right?
I don't know that I've ever told you to shut the hell up. I might have did though. I might have did. I
He
probably told
definitely
everybody
G-Baby
to shut the hell
to
up.
shut the hell up.
He's told G-Baby to shut the hell up. He's told.
I've told G-Baby a whole lot of things.
C-Dog to shut the hell up. He's maybe
Yeah.
Twan to shut the hell up. He's told
Yeah,
everybody. That's what he does,
Twan,
man. He tells people to shut the
hell up. Headache.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right,
but,
Pickle.
you know what? As far as the draft, guys, it's just a crapshoot. It really is. It's all it is, a crapshoot. Some guys, everybody's going to put up as the top of the world, the best guy you're ever going to draft, and everybody's going to want him, even folks that ain't going to get no chance to get him. And in a couple of years, that person's liable to be the dud of the woods and cut and sitting at home eating tater chips because nobody wants his ass. That's possible. And I do agree, Cody. I've said this on Spaces a many a day. I've said it everywhere I went. You can't down if you're down. If your first overall pick, the first pick on the draft is supposed to be your best player you have in that whole draft, and if you have to cut him slack, then you have to cut everybody in that draft room slack.
All right.
Be fair.
That's a good point.
Cut the Rooks some slack. Appreciate you, Pickle. Last but never least, my man, the brand ambassador, Don D's Ill Skills. D's, are you with me, brother?
Yep, right here with you, my man.
I'm going to pass the microphone to you like we're ought to do at the end of a free-for-all, man. Holla at me.
You can't say ought so late in the show. It makes me laugh. But anyway, do you believe in the thread of hope, as Panther Pickle talked about for these Carolina Panthers? Do you believe in the thread of hope that Bryce Young is going to be successful this year at quarterback? Do you believe in the thread of hope that Dave Canales is going to be a good head coach in the NFL in only his first year? Do you believe in the thread of hope that Dan Morgan is going to be a good GM in only his first year in the NFL? Do you believe in the thread of hope that we'll draft well in this upcoming draft and take a very similar draft to what we had tonight? I think we did a fantastic one, probably our best one yet. And do you believe in the thread of hope that Dave Tepper can leave his meddling hands off these Carolina Panthers? So many things that we have to believe in going into this next season. And there's so many things that you can doubt as a Panthers fan. But you can believe with us each and every Friday, each and every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Of course, the flagship shows, 7 p.m. for the Friday free-for-all. And we're on the C3 Legion of Spaces. You can come believe in us and the C3 Legion and these Carolina Panthers at 6:30 on Monday and 6:30 on Thursday. We're here for you. We're the C3 Panthers Podcast. We're having a conversation. We're on the way to the game. We want you to enjoy the Carolina Panthers with us. Come give us your opinion on Friday. We're the only show for the fans and by the fans each and every week. C3 turns out, and C3 is here for Carolina Panthers fans. I just want you guys to do one thing for me, and that's keep pounding C3.
Keep pounding, baby. C3 Nation, C3 Legion. Until next time.
Keep pounding. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding, baby. You already know what it is.
Pounding.
Peace and love.